Straight Riffin is filmed in front of a live internet audience.
I am riffing. Mitch is riffing. What more can I say? Straight riffing. Do you know how fucking desperate I am for some comfort in my life? I need that pillow.
This show is intended for mature audiences only.
I've seen a lot of dicks.
I don't know how much more disgusting this experience could get.
Are you really not having a good time?
I'm having a fantastic time. I just can't believe how disgusting you are.
I kept yelling, I'm not gonna whip my dick out. We talked about that. I'm not gonna do that.
Featuring your host, Mitch Marzoni.
I don't walk around going like, hey, I'm really weird. Look at me, I'm weird. As far as I'm concerned, I'm perfectly normal. It's a litmus test for freaky people.
And Teddy Tutson.
I'm a hate mercenary. Yeah.
All right. Hate mercenary.
Hater for hire. Hater for hire. I should put on a bit of disguise.
There are two victimless crimes, all right? One, jerking off when your window's open. Two, necrophilia.
I'm confessing to a large-scale crime.
Okay, all right.
Now.
Legs akimbo, engaged in sexual discourse.
Come on, man. What kind of guest are you?
It's archived for posterity.
Great internet.
So it'll
21st century.
it'll come back to haunt you every day.
Yikes.
It's time to riff.
Oh, that is right, bitches and motherfuckers. It is episode 103.
103.
March 18th, 2013. I'm your host, Reverend Mitch, and it's time to riff the fuck on. With me, as always, is my guest host, my co-host, Jesus, my fucking
All
brain.
of them things, baby.
Mr. The Difficult Brown, the hater for hire, Mr. Teddy TMI Tutson. How the fuck are you, sir?
Oh, man, I'm feeling good right now, Mitch. Getting my stride, you know what I'm saying? Running on the track, getting my Carl Lewis on right now, son. About to do the whole decathlon thing. Got my Wheaties in the bowl, eat it up. Seneca Falls riffing, son. What you know about that?
I know you got about 5 seconds before the Wheaties turns into like a giant paste, but that's all right. Our guest this evening, Miss part of All Women Everything. Miss
All Women Everything.
Reyna Amaya. How the fuck are you?
Wow, I feel godly now. That was awesome.
Alas, we have somebody in the room that's not wearing a headset. I probably sound really weird without the effect.
Yeah, right?
Probably doesn't sound like a basketball announcer or something like that.
You're just a dude trying too hard at like a high school gymnasium, and they're like, "Damn, why is this? This is not an audition, bro. This is just there's no fucking radio here."
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm
How are
good.
things?
I'm doing all right. I'm really happy to be here. This is awesome. This is
Thank you.
It's good. Yeah.
Glad to have you.
Yay.
It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for coming all the way out to Hollywood and
yeah.
on a Monday where there's not really much of a Hollywood style party, but
Dude, this is a weird. The city also too is in its kind of turbulent phase because everyone I feel like went a little extra hard for St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patty's. Oh, did you guys find any green beer? I was in search.
I did. Where were you
isn't
searching?
it just
at?
fucking everywhere?
Green beer?
Doesn't it just fall on your head if you
It
just walk
should,
out of the
but
door?
no.
Apparently-
I'm on the wrong streets.
Did
Where
you
were
go
you
to
at?
any
What street
Irish
were you
pubs?
I was, no, actually, I was on my way to Pasadena for a
well,
show
of
at
course.
the Ice House, and the 134 was completely shut off, so I felt shut off from my beer quest.
Damn,
Oh, wow.
that's tough, man.
Right?
I would say, yeah, anything that is an Irish or English pub would even work.
Hell, Cabo Cantina would work.
You're right.
As
pretty
I
much
found out
any
firsthand.
place that has a capacity of more than 65 people or is an Irish pub.
I feel like it's
would
kind of
probably have green
weird.
beer.
I feel like you got to be a weird social establishment to just not do green beer on St. Patrick's Day. Like if someone asks you, like, "Nah, it's fucking regular beer. Fuck your holiday." I was like, "That's
Basically, you're just saying that I didn't try.
no." That's not
There
what
were
I'm
like
saying.
a plethora of
No,
options to
we're
get green beer,
saying
and
that
I didn't
the
try.
134
They're
being
probably
shut
standing on a
definitely
street,
probably
probably
fucking-
on a
yeah.
street with just various free green beer signs.
Usually I
around,
sell
like-
oranges, but today it's green beer on the side of the freeway.
I bet there was a dude selling like flowers and peanuts and green beer.
And green beer.
Yeah, I bet.
yeah.
That's-
I was probably just tweeting. I was in my phone, and there was green beer everywhere. And
Like,
I was like,
how-
where do I find green beer? Anyone, please.
There's
Yelp can't
there's
help
got to be
you
an
now.
app for that where you just open it up and there's just little droplets of green and you go, oh, here's how close you are to green beer.
Someone's got to have a.
I always wonder, like, the next day, do they just go, fuck it, we're throwing it out? Or does, like, a couple of people of, nominate themselves for possible alcohol poisoning and go, like, we got to finish this shit?
We gotta
Yeah.
go for it.
What if they're like,
I
yeah,
saw Instagram pictures of people who were like, this is the shipment to our local Irish pub, and they were like 40 kegs, and you're just like, holy shit. Like, what if you don't drink it all?
You don't drink beer though, so that's
No, I
not
know,
a
but
thing
I'm
for you.
saying that surely there's got to be a keg or
I
two.
feel like green beer is kind of.
Are you saying I could still be on my quest for green beer today? I'm not giving this
Dylan's
up.
is down the street.
well,
They
Dylan's
probably
it is.
got like 100 kegs.
So you're
Dylan's
saying
it
we need
is.
to wrap this up right now? 'Cause the longer I go, There's more green beer.
Yo,
that
I
just
forgot I have a
Wrap that shit
previous
up, B.
engagement to look for green beer a day late.
You
It's
excuse
sort of
me.
like Halloween candy goes on sale
Exactly.
big time, right?
Green beer. There should be pictures.
Right. I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm questioning. Is like you only see it on Patty's Day, not the day before, not the fucking day
Yeah.
after.
You know
but
what,
I don't
though?
drink beer,
If
so I don't
ran a
know.
bar,
But I would think.
straight up would just hoard green beer, and then like the next week I would just be like, "We're still doing St. Patrick's Day, motherfuckers!
take two.
Fuck your job, cash in that PTO, and come get this green beer. 2 for $1 all day, every day."
Is there a green tint you wouldn't trust? Like, is there a certain green that you'd be like, "Oh no, I'm not drinking that green beer."
Chartreuse. A chartreuse green
Damn.
is a little too radioactive.
Your
for
palate
me.
is too eloquent
An
for me.
olive would terrify me.
You know, like this kind of green. You don't want.
I feel like that is the only green.
That's the
that
only
they
green I
serve.
would want.
I feel
Something
like-
more olivey, like milkish.
To be fair, it doesn't look as
Yeah,
neon.
like if I had like
in
a
certain light, that looks practically
what's that like?
neon.
It was like the old like pale green in the Crayola set. You know what I mean? It was like that like sickly
sea
green.
green. They
sickly
called
sea
it.
green. Yeah,
they would
sea
call it
green.
sea green.
Call
But
it sea
today,
green 'cause of
sea green has
sea
become
green.
more turquoise. So
No,
it's like
sea
you know,
green today is
but
what we
yeah.
call the ICU at the hospital.
olive. What about olive green? Olive green's a little.
yeah,
that's
I mean, just
creepy.
just
That's
insofar
creepy, yeah.
as like a Crayola color. Real olive green, I don't really mind. But the Crayola olive green is a little suspect.
Suspect.
I ain't drinking that shit.
All
I
right,
need my
I
green to
would
look kind
call
of like
this
a forest.
bottle emerald green, but maybe I'm off.
No, I'd say that's an emerald, and I would trust an
All right.
emerald green.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
That's why the bottle's green because you
Clearly.
trust it.
I wish there was like I wish we lived in a world in which like colors could be real factions. You know what I mean? Like emerald green could like take it out with sea green. Like people could
Right,
battle
right.
for our green loyalty on St. Patrick's Day. That would be amazing.
If it makes you feel any better, Google has taken up that fight for you.
that does not make me feel better at all.
All right.
I wish we could vote on favorite colors each year.
Well, that's Google in their logo and on their site.
I just want to know what the nation feels like.
Listen,
I feel like
yeah,
you
term
know,
limits is cool and all that shit, but like, how about a motherfucker express his palate? You know what I'm
I
saying?
just want to know.
Apparently, like no, seriously, they did a over the course of 6 months something like 4,000 field tests to figure out the shade of blue for the search button, and so that shade of blue is the least offensive and most clickable blue in the planet.
I would have killed myself if I was on that project. If I was on that project, like,
Just
No,
be
it's
fair,
just-
we don't
it's
know
called
that someone
A/B
didn't do
testing
it.
and
How
it's
long did that
automated.
take?
It's just
Oh, it's
A-
automated.
It's A/B automated testing.
I'd kill
so what
myself
you
if
do
I
is
was
you
the
put,
automated system that had to assist in that test.
I am tired of
gonna-
testing all these
I would-
blues.
I would
This is
kill myself
bullshit.
if I was
Fuck
that
you.
automated
I'm
system.
crashing now. Fuck you, Google.
That is not a world I want to live in, son. Where automated systems become self-aware and they're like, "Oh, I'm out."
Yo.
Like they don't even want to take over. They're just like, "No. This is what it is." Oh,
Have
It's quite a bit like a gladiator style of fight because what happens is you take all right, I'm just going to take random blue and compare it to 6 other random blues, and you every 1/6 visit gets a different shade of blue. And so what you do is you take the winner of that fight and you pit it against shades of that blue and so on and so forth. And this went on for
Wowzers.
6 months.
Genesis, though.
So there you go. So now you know the blue of the search button on Google is the blue that will make you click. Feels a little like gets into your head.
that's
You sure we don't need a 4th mic? I'm hearing a voice off in the distance, and I feel
See,
weird.
you guys, you can't have extra ladies in the room and think they're not going to talk.
I mean, I
Jeez Louise.
said 4th mic, and you said no. I think we're good. And I was like, all right. Do you want a mic? I can get you a mic. I have to give you. I have to give
go
you an
ahead.
intro if I do
Let's
it.
go.
We need an
Let's
intro.
go,
I
let's
want
go
to.
ahead.
I want to hear that godly voice again. Let's.
She's gonna get
All
it.
right, yeah.
Now,
That was-
Mitch, this is good because now she won't think that you're crazy anymore. Because when you were like, I bet she thinks I'm crazy, and she's like, yeah, you do sound crazy right now.
Like, I
Yeah.
thought he was like an announcer at a high school basketball.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she was in.
I was like, is he auditioning?
There we get him.
still gonna think I'm crazy.
You're not crazy.
This is good. This is,
that good
You're the
crazy.
first. You're the first lady on All Women Everything that's rolled with your own entourage now.
All right,
This is good.
Well, I'm sorry.
kind of
What's
chill.
You've stepped the diva quotient up a
I need
little bit.
I need a name.
This is whispering in the studio,
Yeah, right.
folks.
The fourth wall
The
has
fourth-
All right,
tear
hold on,
down
hold
that
on,
fourth
hold
wall,
on.
Mr. Gorbachev.
Hold on. Joining us, Reyna's friend and cohort in the YouTube series. I watched a little of it. I did my research.
Hey.
She goes with 0 last name, which confused me. Lulu, which doesn't sound nearly as
Now I get it.
Lulu. I don't know. I was really,
You were better the first time.
Yeah,
It's somewhere
it's
between
difficult.
like a WWF
It's
announcer and like a
you
stripper.
gotta ride away with
like it's weird.
Lulu.
Yeah,
there you
yeah.
go.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
You gotta be
All right.
Mexican
Yeah.
a little bit.
Lulu.
You gotta tap into
Lulu.
tap into your
All right, yeah.
lucha libre.
The
heritage.
price
I'm
was
sorry.
right on that one. That
All
was
right,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I don't need a last name. I'm Hispanic, so I got enough names. So I
Yeah.
just figured I could
We
just
don't
go
need to
with
open that
one.
Pandora's
Lulu,
box.
Consuela, Madonna.
Yeah. I got like
Consuela,
all the
I don't know,
alphabet
I got
letters in my
De
name.
La
I don't know
Torre.
it anymore.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of all the like Mexican words I know, but there's not enough of them. I meant to say names and then thought Spanish words. Mixed the two together, just sounded racist.
I'm not offended.
Good place
We're
to be.
gonna let you rock, bro.
Yeah.
We're gonna let you
No,
ride
no.
that one,
Let
son.
me just, wallow in shame. It's cool.
Ah, son,
where
you were good, son.
I take up residence in shame.
You could
That's
pass
where
as
I
a
go.
Boricua one day.
One day.
Boricua. I love your enunciation. Thank you.
I'm trying.
It was wrong. but
Damn.
It was close.
Damn it. Oh.
Thank you. Thank you for trying.
Somebody want to fill me in on this word? How
Boricua.
it's spelled? Oh, I would have tried to pronounce it, but all right. What does it mean?
He saw failure in his future, so he just didn't attempt.
No, I didn't even hear that because he said it wrong. I'm not going to say it wrong.
That's a smart move.
You know?
That's a smart move.
I can roll my R's, so I may have like tried to brrr in there. or
There it
something,
is.
You know? Yeah.
There we go.
See? I know what's going on.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I'll say
Different show.
I'll go to the El Pollo Loco and I'll
Hello.
say hey, let me get a tortilla and cheeseburger and fries.
These
and,
oh my god, that's what that's like they're
I want
rolling
a
with you.
large,
Like, no.
Say
a
nachos.
large Coke Zero. Okay, what?
Say nachos.
Nachos.
Yeah.
Are you sure
a
are you sure
quesadilla.
that you are not
I want the quesadilla with salsa, a salsa verde.
you
All
would-
right.
It's turning a little Italian, but it's
Yeah.
still
Yeah, I
good.
know.
No, that's what
Well,
he
I am
is.
Italian,
That's,
so
that's
that's-
his natural heritage is coming in now.
where
Now
it
he's getting
goes.
to that Mario.
Hey,
Lopez.
what I want. If you could take up a spaghetti and put it on a tortilla.
If you
With some salsa verde for the quesadilla. Hey, I want a cheeseburger and a meatball. Come on. El Pollo Loco, you kidding me?
the longer his order
Luigi.
is, the
More
more his
Italian.
linguistic spectrum goes. He starts off with a real you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? He's just real
Yeah.
conquistador at first.
I do get a kick out of saying, like, as you know, when I do the announcer thing, it's
It actually started
like
with
one of my favorite guests' name to say, still to this day, was I'll even do it with the thing.
Do it.
Alejandro Ansoliaga.
That's
That sounds dope.
That's awesome.
Right?
Shout
It's a
out to my
good
man,
name.
that's Alejandro. What's up?
Alejandro Ansoliaga.
But you could do
going on?
mine. You could do mine Spanish style.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's see.
You got it.
Reyna Amaya.
Yeah,
Nice.
little samurai.
I
thing,
feel
but
like
liked it. I
we
felt
have
it.
somehow unlocked just a new podcast. It's going to be nothing but just bringing on people and having Mitch announce their name and then they walk out feeling good about themselves. It's a good service that you could do.
Listen,
to
I've got a
service.
friend
Set
whose
it up,
name I
son.
want to give a shout out to.
Just say, you just like, you know how that's what we had. Like, it used to be that Mitch would always, before we had the announcer effect, he would just like rear back and announce.
Oh, I would just yell
But
it,
it
yeah.
was like, he would only do the more exotic names.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a regular ass name, he was just like, yeah, whatever. There it is. Do you know what I mean? And
Steve Jones.
yeah.
I mean,
And
do
then-
you want my real name? Do you want my full
I
name?
know. I mean, what if you go by Lulu?
Yeah.
L-O-U.
Wait, whatever you go by in the
hyphen
streets.
I
LOU,
think you get
then
a
that's
kick
cool.
out of my real name.
I would probably would. Give it to me.
Oh, you got it. You go. You're on. You're on. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the fourth wall has been reestablished here. This is good.
I don't know. I thought I went music. I didn't know if we
You know
were
what it
doing
is
like a
though?
little
I
bebop.
appreciate it though. That's old school
Okay.
style.
It is,
Kids
yeah.
today don't know about
This is
technical
gonna.
difficulties.
This
No,
might
they
be
don't.
it.
They don't know.
This might. I'm gonna see if I can get it right on the first try.
Oh, here we go.
Lourdes Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Well
right.
done. Well done.
Love it.
Way to
I
put
felt
your
I was on the-
skills to the test.
I was on the edge there. I did
Hey, Telemundo will
one
be
of my
proud.
podcast things with it was an Australian broad and and she was saying that she could do an American accent. It was terrible, and I was like, that you don't know. You sound like kind of like when Christian Bale did American Psycho. He sounded like a serial killer. Which worked out fine because
But
he
that's
was
the-
playing
I mean,
one.
to
But
be fair-
it also that's like a lot of British actors. They immediately go into this like, hello, hi. Like they've only watched Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor do white guy impressions. So they're
Which
like,
again,
I talk
though,
like this.
That is
And so
not-
she said, "What's your Australian impression?" I said, "The only thing I can do an impression of Jim Jeffries doing a joke that I wrote, even though he never did the joke, but I."
Yeah.
Instead of quoting his act, I could like tell one of my own jokes and sound like him. And she said it was shitty. So when you were, I think she was just pissy.
She was mad because her accent wasn't good.
Yeah, her accent
Your
was
broke
quite
ass
shit.
American accent.
She was like, "This is how Americans talk," or something like that. And I was just like, "Whoa."
First of all, you need to stop watching Pleasantville. That's what I would say.
Seriously.
Okay.
First foremost. I was about to say first and Formosa, and then I was like, wow.
You're giving out street
fucking-
directions. It's okay.
You want to get on first and Formosa?
Mitch gets upset and he just starts navigating people around town. What you need to do is jump on the expressway to go fuck yourself, all right? Get off around your inconsiderate bitch avenue.
Take a left on Spring Street, drive that up your ass, motherfucker. Yeah, so, wow, we really got off topic.
No, it was good,
we
bro.
didn't have a
Wait,
topic.
I was gonna say, do we have a topic?
No,
It's
we
riffing.
had something for a moment,
Riffing.
and then it just went.
It
It's okay.
dissipated.
No,
Nature
it's
of the
fine. It
beast.
just there was that lull, and then it's like, oh, back to what we were saying, but we don't have.
Still
I'm
nothing.
glad I have the both of you here because I wanted to discuss a clip I watched of your YouTube program.
True story.
Program.
Come
Yes.
on. Let it,
The do's
All right.
and don'ts.
of a-
Yeah, yeah.
Of a side hoe.
Oh, that's now?
That's the title.
That's just the one you did. There's not like a series of them.
Of do's and
It
don'ts.
seemed like there was a series of these, and I just saw the one, and I thought it was amusing as fuck. So I wanted to have a discussion about side hoes and
God damn, that sounds like a daytime
side
talk
hoes,
show
the
I would
response, your opinions, and the culture thereof.
watch. Do you know how much like Montel Williams you sound right now? You're like, side hoes.
Coming up.
We need to have a discussion
Your-
about side hoes.
Tiffany, your daughter
Back after this.
is a side hoe, isn't she?
I don't care. Fuck who I want that.
Yeah,
Y'all
right.
can.
Oh my god.
She says you're
I'm trying
side
to go
hoe.
classy with Montel. I'm trying to go classy.
I don't know why my Montel quickly turned into Obama.
That's what Obama's gonna do after he's done out of office, bro. He's just gonna
host
go.
a
gonna
talk
address the
show.
side
I know some of
He's
you
gonna be the male
have been
Oprah.
getting
That's what
side
he's gonna
hoes.
do.
You're gonna go kill it, son.
So good term, by the way. Like the side hose thing.
Do you want to explain the video? What you guys do?
Wait, what? Real quick.
Go ahead.
Why does I am?
Mm-hmm.
Is there real? I don't think there's anyone who doesn't know what a side hoe is. Like
Yeah.
just
Thank
right
you.
off the bat.
No,
Yeah.
that is no.
They may not know it as the name side
Side
hoe.
hoe.
Yeah, but
I
they
feel like
know
when
what
you hear
is.
it, you go, "Oh yeah, like the hoe on the side."
It should
But
be
you'll
completely
probably be
makes
like,
sense,
yeah,
No.
Right, right. That's
Depending on
what-
where
that's
you
the way I'm
are,
seeing
you're like,
it.
oh, a jump off, or
The ju-
Okay,
yeah,
the
exactly.
jump off.
the Jezebel.
When you
Yes,
guys
of
discuss
course.
the
the
jump
bunny.
off, that's a little bit like that's not as obvious as side
No,
hoe.
because jump off can be different. Because jump off can be the chick that you go to right after your relationship.
So you're rebound girl.
It's a rebound. Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be
Or
a rebound.
guy.
Yeah,
Jump off
exactly.
I feel like when it first came out of the streets, it was like real particular, but now it's evolved.
Now it's like
See,
everything.
in New York,
Yeah.
jump off for us is kind of like the chick on the side.
right.
Yeah.
That's where I got most of mine because
Yeah,
it was
it's-
when jump off. Like when it really emerged as a thing. It was when like Joe Button and like the
Yeah.
whole New York scene.
Jump
and
off, jump off. The girls
Right.
are jump off.
Right, and I had friends who were saying that. I was like, first of all, that's just like terrible.
Yeah.
I was like, like literally, like when I heard it, I was like, I envisioned it as being like, well, I'm done here, and like you just jump
Jump
off,
off,
and I'm like,
yeah.
oh my god, y'all ain't respect yourselves at all. You know what I'm saying? And then that's where I always got my jump
See,
off term
the-
out.
the-
But
the-
now I've come to
The
see
side
that.
hoe has more of a bond than a jump off.
There you go. Yeah.
The side hoe actually
that was the
has-
purpose of the video. You're
Right.
like, we
Yeah.
need to
The
put
side
you-
hoe is
the hose
involved.
in
She's
check.
involved, but she's not that involved.
She's
Right.
not to be seen or to be
She's
heard.
it's an evolution of the
Okay.
of the tragic other woman.
Initial
that we've
question:
all known.
Did
the deluded one.
did the video come from thinking about Valentine's Day and remembering a time that you were a side hoe and you realized it on Valentine's Day, or you've got a few girlfriends in your life that haven't realized they were a side hoe and you were like, I should break it to them via this video?
the very gentle way by putting it on the internet.
They just looked at each other like there was some
Had a
reality
feeling.
going on.
Had a
I was,
feeling.
combo.
It's a
That's
little
it.
combo. It's kind of like, kill two birds with one stone.
I think we also just saw it as an opportunity around Valentine's Day to address something that is real surrounding
and it
Valentine's Day.
tends to be forgotten.
Tends to be
Well, I was
forgotten.
when we were talking before the show, I was telling one of my favorite things about it is the fact that it's like you're probably celebrating Valentine's Day on the 13th or the 15th, which is just fucking hilarious because I've heard those dudes. I remember I had cousins growing up where they would just be like openly be like, yeah, I'm about to end that shit with that bitch. But I would be like, damn son, y'all just grimy as fuck. I'm like, I don't know what kind of woman would associate herself with you at all. Do you know what I mean?
Side
hoe.
side host.
that would be side hoe for 5,000.
I will take side host for $600.
And side host.
Side hoe is your daily
Side
double.
hoe.
We're gonna put that on the board. We're gonna put side hoe
I've
as your
seen
daily.
guys at Walgreens the day after buying candy and teddy bears like it was nothing, and I'm like, clearly that's not for your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Did you ever say anything?
No, I
Ever
just
go like,
chuckle.
all right.
It's just
A little private
over there,
chuckle.
just flipping through various tabloids, being like, "Oh, you fools! You don't even know I'm watching, taking all the notes."
Have you been a side hoe, either of you?
I was when I was 15.
Okay, that long ago.
Yeah,
You don't fuck around with a guy who's in a thing.
no.
You realize that was like you're like I can't do this.
Yeah, I
anymore,
was like,
kind
what am
of
I
thing.
doing? And it was
How
just-
long did your experience last for?
I mean, I was 15, so I was like 3 semesters.
Yeah.
3 semesters.
That's an eternity.
Jesus.
That's an eternity.
Did it last through the summertime?
No, no.
Right? I feel like
Summer school?
Reyna's over here like, okay, like a couple weeks we go see it, whatever. You're like, God damn, calendar change seasons.
It's like 3, it's high school. It's like 3 semesters.
You had an equinox in
Yeah.
there.
We was together forever.
switched-
Wrote our names on the wall and everything.
Yeah.
No, I was 15. I wasn't having sex, so he got mad and was like, "I have needs." I was like, "You're 16. What needs do you
Yeah,
have?"
right, yeah, right.
So he broke up with
Need
me
to
and got
do
a
your
girlfriend
homework.
and
Did
got
that.
her pregnant. So it
Okay.
was like, "Yay,
And
karma!"
the
Isn't that-
world
Wait. So
circles.
where did the side hoe thing come in?
So I thought I was his main girlfriend, and came to find out I was the side hoe. Like. I would call his house, and his mother would always have an attitude with me, and I'd be like, "Why is she always so mean to me?" Because she knew I was a side hoe.
Oh, yo,
Everybody knew I was a side hoe. But
oh my
me.
god, that's the thing that I like amazed me. Like
Wow.
when I
been
broke up with
scarred.
this girl that I was with for a while in high school, and it was like one of those relationships where like clearly just don't care about yourself enough to end it. So you just like hope, it's like you just hope one day it ends itself. Do you know what I mean? And then like everyone around you is like, "Oh, you look so happy now." I'm like, "Yeah, that's because that thing is over."
Yeah.
But like, come to find out, my sister who had been like real on the low, just being like, "I hate this bitch." And had changed her phone number in the caller ID to like the phone when it rang to be like that winch. That is
my
when it showed up.
gosh.
And she didn't show this to me until after I broke up with it. But I was like, God damn, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? Did you not
She was
care about me?
trying to tell you.
No, she didn't try to tell me nothing. You didn't tell nobody nothing.
That was
you know?
her- that was
You
her
left me out to
passive.
die. Just right on the fucking rock, just getting my fucking liver taken out every day by an eagle. Every
Passive
day.
aggressive way. I had a later side hoe experience, but also similar. I wasn't having sex because I couldn't bring myself to that aspect of it. But yeah, this was more in the 20s, in the later 20s. I'm not gonna give my age.
I didn't get
Not
no
proud
seasons
of
in
it.
it, but
I got a couple trips though, bitch. Yeah.
were you like were you
Sorry,
kind of
what is you mean like vacations?
Yeah.
I got
Okay.
lunch tickets.
Okay. Mine's better. Not sure if that's a trump.
That's the difference. That's the difference between.
Although right now
between
I
the-
could take a lunch ticket.
Lunch-
So
exactly,
hey.
bitch. Right
That's
now,
so-
lunch tickets are outweighing trips.
That's that real wistful thing. You're like, damn, a vacation is good and all, but
But
Lunch?
I need some to goes.
Not
I
just
need
a-
some to-go
I need
boxes
some
in
to-go
my life.
boxes.
Real
See that
basic meal
that is a
plan.
thing that's kind of I think like uniquely female is sort of finding out that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like as
The
a
kind of
guy,
power
you
you
don't
can wield.
find out that you're with a girl who's got a boyfriend necessarily. You know at the beginning, or it's just not.
you just know you're a dick.
or
from the
she
beginning.
cheat. Yeah, you either
You
know in the beginning,
you're a piece of shit,
or
and you just have
she
to find a way
cheats
to lie
on
to
you with
yourself.
somebody else.
Yeah.
But that guy knows who you are. You might not know about
Well, guys,
him,
I feel
but
like
he's gonna
guys
know.
are much like. I think that's the thing that's kind of always been amazing to me is how easily guys can just be like, yeah, man, like, yeah, of course you go fuck somebody else, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, at least I got a chance. And it's like a weird, sad, diluted being like, at least I like had some fun before I got fucking crushed by the thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit always, like, played me out, whereas, like, they don't...
What scenario
Whereas
are
in
we
like,
talking about?
like I'm talking about in the sense like guys will never be deluded to the sense that like they are the only person. Do you know what I mean?
Right, like if a girl approaches you and she's like, "Look, I have a dude, you know, whatever.
She'll
I
tell
just kind
you.
of want to like do this."
And he's
or
like,
whatever.
"Yeah, whatever."
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Whereas
cool.
like there's no
Oh, okay. Well, then
there's no the other man.
I'm that guy.
Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
I'm totally that guy.
Like
No, that's fine. And
like-
I always say, like, look, you're the one that made that fucking agreement, so it ain't got nothing to do with me.
not necessarily agreement sometimes. But, you know what I'm
Well,
saying.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you got into a situation that apparently isn't fulfilling
That's
for you.
why we
That's
get
got
do's
nothing
and
to do with
don'ts
me.
because the side hoes need to be checked.
There
Right.
you go.
Right. So,
So
what are
some-
the do's and don'ts, for example, you can share with the people out there. If say an aspiring side hoe.
Oh, we did
needed
have
to be put in
questions
check
about
right
one of the
now.
don'ts.
Okay.
Go
So let's see. I mean, one of the most important things is know that you should
number-
never really go on.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, which one?
No.
I was gonna say that you should never be seen. Right? It's very, very crucial.
That's the one I was going to talk about.
That's a numero uno
Uno.
because
Now-
you don't exist.
Yeah.
Now, I know that in the video, you jokingly have a thing where he just drives past her car and they're like at a stoplight and she whoom,
Right.
pulls the. I think that was you. No, that was you.
That was me,
Sorry.
yeah.
And
I was
the
that
car.
side.
The car seat immediately, goes out of view so that you can't see. Now, is the assumption like don't be seen where she'll remember your face? I guess I'll put it this way. I was in an open thing for a while, and I went to a concert with Mean Girl, and a girl that I had fucked around with in the past was there, and we were like standing next to each other in this line. And it was like one of those awkward, like
Weird.
at what point, like her friends knew me, I knew her friends.
Yeah.
They didn't know this girl didn't know them.
Right.
And she was like, oh, hey. And I was like, hey.
Super.
And that was it.
awkward.
We were both like, okay, move
But see,
along.
you're not fucking her currently. You.
But
No, but I mean, what I'm saying is that like my girlfriend at the time didn't think to herself like, oh, this is a girl that you fucked. She just this is some girl that you ran into. So wherein I guess what I'm saying is like there's a certain amount of personal responsibility. Obviously, if you see him, don't go up and be like, hey,
what's up? Right. But you also have to assume that as the side hoe, if you're dealing with a guy who is a cheater,
Someone who
you don't-
exists in the world of side hoes.
Right, like-
Fundamentally communized, okay?
If you're dealing with a guy who's a cheater, you have to assume that his girlfriend may also be a scavenger, which means that when you're a girl who's dealing with a cheating guy, she's scavenged.
becomes
She
a
looks on
detective.
Facebook. She looks in his phone. She's looking at every single thing,
Oh,
and guys
okay.
can be
Yeah.
kind of sloppy. So she may know you.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Whether
right.
you know it or not,
Right.
she'll be like, "That's that bitch right there," and it's over. Like it's over.
Right. So just don't intentionally make contact by any means.
By
And
any
ever.
means. Ever.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. You
Fair-
have to
fair
know.
point.
You got to play your part. Do you
That's right.
understand?
Yeah.
If
No,
I
I
brought
get
you
that.
into this,
I just
Fuck
meant
your
I just
part.
meant like
Play your part.
exactly.
that's a
Yes.
good rhyme. That's
Exactly.
good. You can put that on the board.
There it is.
Yeah.
No, I just meant like I was curious to know like to what extent does it go through? Run across the mall?
Yeah, like
Yeah, no, whatever
that's
it
what
takes.
happens. Like my character, she hops in the bushes to try to stay away from this guy.
Right,
At all
right.
costs. Like she had a donut and she dropped the donut. She didn't
Everything.
fuck. Like she dipped out
Yeah.
because she
Again,
could
I
not-
think that's a female thing. I've definitely walked up to guys whose girlfriends I fucked and hey, how you been? You know, that kind of thing. So
Why did you do that though?
To be an ass.
it would be awkward because
Hey,
it's
how's
like
it going, My Dick Was Insider? You guys doing good? Cool. I'm gonna go out of here now.
we're
Yeah.
looking
You
like
wanna
we're
drink?
in
You
the
wanna
same
drink?
place, and I'm
Suck on
going
her
like
titties.
I'll just
Have
go
a
up
good
and
one.
you know the other thing is that like if I'm gonna get mollywopped, I'm gonna get paid, and so I'll walk up.
Lulu is
You like
very
that? You like
fascinated
that?
by that. She's just like, okay, all right, go on.
keep
Drink.
continue. Please.
No,
do.
I think I don't mean like I don't rub it in. I'm just saying like if I'm in a place and I see her, I don't think it's awkward to because I don't work at like an office and shit. It's not all that secretive. Like if you're in certain communities, you've met the
think
dude
you-
before.
you certainly
it would be
exist in a different
weird.
realm.
Yeah, it would be weird if I didn't acknowledge that I knew her. Even if the guy is there, it's like, oh, hey, remember that thing we went to? It's always something innocuous, not like, hey, remember that time you were at my apartment and your friend came over? Nothing like that.
I mean, do you always smirk when?
No.
do you
I'm
smirk? Do you-
I'm not. I'm not. Look, I'm not looking for an argument or a fight or like rubbing it in. I'm just saying it's like a quick cut the tension and also sets them. It puts them in a position where they're like, oh, I don't have to worry about this guy. If he truly did anything wrong, he would never come up and say hi to me. See, that's the.
It's
other
like a
side of it.
disarming technique.
Yeah. I'll tell you, like I fucked around with a woman who was married. She said she was in an open marriage, and by all intents and purposes, she was. She posted about us hanging out.
It's
and
never
shit.
an open marriage.
Well, whatever.
Somebody's gonna get their feelings hurt.
All I'm saying is that like
It's only
Somebody's
open
gonna-
till I close the door and your broke ass.
Exactly.
she was making zero attempts to hide hanging out with me alone in my apartment, staying the night there, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And months later, he and I had to meet her in San Diego for Comic-Con. And the whole drive, I was thinking in my head, like, is it an open marriage? Do I go like, hey, so we've both been in the same woman.
here's the thing,
What's that
though,
all
right?
about? I didn't say shit about it the whole way there and the whole way back. And it was just the two of us. We talked about everything under the sun.
I mean, why would you?
I mean,
feel like it was
exactly.
I feel
Why
like-
would I? But
Yeah.
it's like there was a part of me that goes, does he know? Is it truly open? Or will he run this off the road if I mention it? And I just didn't mention it.
Well, no, because you don't know what
See what
their
I'm saying?
rules are. It could be open, but it's like don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, it's,
exactly.
You know.
Exactly. But I mean, I
is a
again, I
great
felt like
policy.
she.
I don't trust people enough though to put myself in that level of vulnerability. Do you know what I'm saying?
Don't ask, don't tell.
No, like, I don't like. Listen, I don't like if I was.
But
gonna,
you already wouldn't fuck around with a girl who's in a relationship if you knew she was in a relationship. Am I right?
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, I probably
Okay, so
wouldn't.
that's
just,
why-
I probably
That's
wouldn't
just
be.
invitation for an ass whooping. I'm just.
I
like,
mean, it's not even. It's not. I just
it
don't
can
have.
always
I don't even
potentially go wrong.
I just
you never
don't-
It is.
know.
Oh,
me
I'm-
personally,
absolutely, yeah.
I just don't have that level of trust to give out casually to somebody. You know what I'm saying? I can't be as part of your
Can't be all willy nilly.
yeah, and your nefarious schemes and what have you. You know what I'm saying? So we got to have it real fucking binary.
And generally speaking, I know the guy, so I'll size him up in my head and go like, what would he do? The one time that I definitely let who the guy was get in the way was a girl whose husband had been in jail for kicking guys' asses who fucked with his girl.
Yeah, that is probably a good time to play an exception card.
And like I had, and this was like with several of his past girlfriends.
Of course,
I've known all of them. And then this girl who I'd known for years before they got connected together, we were hanging out, and she was like, hilariously, she was like, let's go to a hotel. And then she went to go get a hotel room, and he, they had a joint bank account, and he had cleared out the account while she was out of town so that she couldn't get a hotel. She was like, well, I guess that's not going to work. I was just like, I'm going to take that as a sign.
Exactly.
Let's not fuck around.
See, that's what I was trying to say. Son, you rolling in a different world, B.
Now, that one's a little bit, but again, even he and I'd known him for years. He was like really buddy with me.
I would never,
first
of all, that's the difference between you and me. I would never ever talk to her, okay? Like, if she called me, I'd be like, first of all, I'm assuming all the phones are tapped, okay? I'll hang up right now, do all of us a favor. Did we stop? Did it go out?
No.
Oh,
Good.
you're just
like
doing the
living on the
webcam.
To actually put
Your
my camera
webcam.
up.
Oh, yeah.
The Mitch cam.
You like living on the edge, I see.
Yeah, Mitch. See, that's Mitch and I.
What's up? What?
You like living on the edge, baby. That's
Oh,
what she said.
well,
Yeah.
I mean,
See, we
All right,
we
go
once
ahead.
established this as a situation which I like to call Ripcord City. Whereas I am falling out the parachute, right? I got the parachute on and I fall out the plane or whatever. In various situations, Mitch was just like, I'm just gonna keep getting close to the ground to see how fucking close I get. And as soon as I get out the airplane, I'm like, nah, son, where the parachute at? You know what I mean? I need to cruise down and make sure I can hit on my
Let me
feet.
coast.
Right? Exactly.
I feel like I'll put it this way.
Lulu gets it.
Is I would never encourage someone to cheat on their partner with me.
No.
I would never do that. Would never be like, oh, what's he got to do with? I would never do that.
I got a man.
If she's coming to me to such the extent that she does not give a fuck, especially if she knows I know the guy, she's made this decision a long time before me, and probably there's been like 4 or 5 before me.
Yeah, you shouldn't deal with chicks who deal with guys in circles and cliques.
Yeah, that's
That's
bad,
dangerous.
bad. That's manipulation.
If you're gonna be a hoe, be a hoe in different circles. Don't be a hoe in
Yeah,
one circle.
spread your hoe.
Spread your hoe-ness out.
Right.
It's true.
It's fair.
That's like the most
I mean, but
inspirational
I'm
hoe
not-
message ever.
also-
Listen, are you a hoe? You need to take your wholeness from being insular.
Expand your horizon.
Expand.
Hey! Oh, that's going on the board. That's
Expand your
Yeah.
horizon.
That
This
was-
show is breaking
Thank you.
all
Hold on.
grounds in hoe technology right now. This is amazing.
Lil, I'm gonna give you the effect so you can say it again.
Right? No, it's
You're
just the most
you just
formal
go like
giggle of all
this.
time.
Finger
It's
up when you're ready.
Expand your horizon.
See how doesn't that feel good?
Yes.
It just tickles the
They should
cockle of
play
the heart.
that. They should just play that in like elevators around the
I
country.
feel like certain high schools could use that as like the same way that airport terminals just have someone announcing things variously, like attention, hoes, expand your horizon.
I just see like a rainbow, like of
Yeah.
hoes. I just
Why isn't there a whole airline?
just like some legs that open up, and it's just like horizon.
Because that's the only airline I'd fly.
I know.
I'd be like,
They would put
hey,
everyone out of business.
I'm not with anybody. I'll fuck all of y'all.
Well, to be fair, Hooters did have an airline for a little bit. I don't know.
Really?
Can I get a soda?
Hooters, I think they might still have an airline actually. Hooters airline.
Are
Don't look
they-
me.
Did they serve
Can you
wings?
check? Can we check?
I'll
and see?
take a look. I
That's the thing.
kind of
See,
doubt
if they
it.
have wings, I'm all over that shit, son. But I am.
I kind of
I'm
doubt
one of
it
the only people that goes to
because
Hooters
it's
for
so
wings.
like there's so many airlines that start up and just fucking fall out of.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Because they
Seems like a hard
like Virgin's
business.
like on the verge of going to like the Virgin America
Yeah, it's not profitable.
airlines.
I wouldn't
They're
sh-
like trying
just
to.
saying.
They might have to cut it out because it's like
Yeah.
it's really difficult to compete because all the other airlines do is go like, well, we'll just jack up the prices of everything, make everything optional, and cut all the funding for things that people like.
Like snacks. I'm
Right.
sorry, I'm really angry
but
about
Virgin
that.
Virgin
like
doesn't
basic
sell.
existence. Have you? Has anyone,
Like nourishment through
Right.
peanuts.
No, it's not. It's
I
not.
feel like.
Almonds?
Listen, this is how you know.
It actually ended in 2006.
Okay, well, it was a good run.
In fact,
It was
April
like
18th,
Hooters?
2006.
Did they start in 2006 as well? Or what else? They were open for 3 months. 3 successful
Started
strong
in
months.
05, really.
03.
December 05.
03 to 06.
Good for
March
you.
March 2003 to April 2006.
Like
So
a bad
exactly
relationship.
2
It's
years.
like a waste of
Oh,
time relationship.
I actually happened as part of my
They
opposite
only had
research.
6 planes. What are you going to do?
I saw the undercover boss with the Hooters CEO, who first of all, like, just is. I don't know why I didn't expect him to look the way he did, but like I should have. He's just like you're like plain nerdy white dude, kind of Dilbert looking guy or whatever.
Dilbert.
And he's like going undercover at various Hooters restaurants or whatever, and he was just horrified that his managers were like a bunch of chauvinist assholes for the most part. I'm like, how, son? How? Like one dude literally made a bunch of girls eat a plate of beans, like with their hands behind their back, to see who could get off first. You know, instead of having to clean, like, all right, whoever fucking finishes first gets cut first.
Oh, I thought you meant get off.
No.
Like,
It
that's
was
festive.
it's CBS.
Poor
Get your
choice of
minds out
words.
of
We
the
were all
gutters.
thinking this. We were all
I'm
thinking
talking
this.
about
All of
Undercover
us.
Brother on CBS. You dirty
Okay.
fucking
That's
heathens.
Undercover Boss.
The sick thing is I'm less interested.
You know what
now
I'm
that
talking
it's
about.
Undercover Brothers with
Yeah,
Griffin.
yeah, okay, I got you black. The revolution started bubbling up inside of me. I'm gonna start quoting Gil Scott Heron now.
I was like, I heard
Let me
that
say,
part.
I went to see Undercover Brother alone in a
Thank you,
black
please. Yeah. I'm
black
glad
movie
Luther
theater.
was
It
like,
was
wait
one
a
of my
minute.
one of
I was
my
like, I don't remember that part in the movie.
That's
one of the
There's
best
no beans in that.
experiences.
I
I was
don't
like,
believe
I need to
CBS
do
is
this.
gonna pick that up.
I was like starting to think I should go see just like solely black comedies and solely black theaters because I had so much fun watching Undercover Brother in a loud black theater.
Yeah.
Alone, you know, just sitting in the back, just like, oh, this
Alone?
because fuck it. Well, they're all just there
Listen,
to have
I
fun.
feel like any white person
Why are
that
they
goes to
gonna
see
kick
a
my
black
ass?
movie at a black theater is usually alone.
cop.
It's, okay, well, that's,
Do I look like a cop?
Hey, in my hood, anything goes.
first of all,
Right,
yeah, in
right.
her hood, yeah, of course.
Have you
look like a
seen
cop.
New York
I
Undercover?
was just going there. I was just going there for the commentary, and it did not disappoint.
Mitch, God, Mitch would be like the one dude who's like, no, I really am here because I enjoy your company. Like, whatever, motherfucker. Whatever.
That joke you made during the third scene, fucking
You've been
classic.
killing our kids for too long. Like, no, I just got junior mints. Please, just let me hang out. I just want a good time. I'm so alone.
I remember the part where like they show that he's gone white and he's eating a sandwich and there's the mayo like slipping out. And I heard a guy go, "Oh, she pulled out the mayo." And then another guy next to him goes, "No, she didn't." And I was just like, "Oh my god, that's a thing! I didn't know that was a thing."
That's the thing, bro.
I was like crying, laughing, but silently, like I don't want to be, because it's like you don't want to laugh too hard.
Yeah.
And I was like, what you laughing at, motherfucker?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Like I did
keep
a
your eyes on
show-
the screen, bitch.
I did
Heard
a
that
show
one
last
before.
week at Sardo's, and the girl who went up before me, black comic, and it was a mostly black room, and she did this really good bit about. She was doing like a PSA thing. She's like, black people, you have to stop saying God is good when you do something terrible. It's like, God is good. So she was doing all these different things. She'd be like, God is good. And I was doing something, a joke didn't work or whatever. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna. Well, you didn't like, or I said something like, oh, I guess you guys don't like babies or whatever. And I was gonna go into another joke, and the black girl in the front row started doing what you do. She was doing the drumming on the table, and I was like, why do you drum on the table? And we had a brief rapport, and then out of nowhere, she said, God is good. So then I ripped with her. I was like, you're going to throw another comics act in. And I was like, no, it's cool. I thought that was a good joke, but the black guy sitting next to me at the bar thought it was an even better joke, so I laughed louder than I normally would. I was like, because when people make fun of black people, you got to look at the nearest black person and be like, is this okay? And the room like exploded, and I was like, all right, I'm okay.
All right. God
I'm
is
gonna go
good.
in.
All right, okay. Hallelujah to you.
I was
And we'll go
tempted
ahead
to
and
say
check
that,
out.
but I was like, I don't
Right.
want to rip off
I
another
don't know.
comic in front of them. Because then that goes in her act.
That's true, though.
So anyway, I was only bringing that up because of the movie theater thing. It's like one of those things where I'm not going to laugh too hard at anything that happens because I'm alone. If I had you with me, I could be like, right, my fellow black friend?
I'm not even
No,
laughing at her.
because
I'm just
everybody
like, no,
will
it's
look
okay.
at him like, you going to let your white friend.
Yeah, so that's the same thing, though. That's the same thing.
Putting him in the danger zone.
Yeah.
We always it's the same thing where like the one thing I always thought was really weird is I would freestyle with friends in high school, whatever, and and they would always say nigga more frequently than I did. which was I would never say it, and I would just like be doing.
I don't think you said it until we started doing this show.
Yeah, really.
He felt
Which is
an
your
obligation.
fault, motherfucker. But it was always
It's a great
like,
word.
It blew me away though, because I would like one of them was white, one of them would be like he's like half Puerto Rican, half Jewish, and I was like, this is. Okay, so like, what is happening right now? Really, right now, like, how far has rap come? Because like, I am just sitting here being like, yeah, let me drop some CL Smooth on them, and they just like, what up, niggas? And I'm just like, okay, this is weird right now. And like every now and then, I would like make a face, and they would get hesitant and shit, because they're like, oh no, it's not cool anymore. It's not cool.
It's not cool.
But that was weird when it's kind of like to the
Soft
point,
AH.
yeah. To the point that you were making, kind of similarly, like where if you're a woman, you kind of realize like, oh, I can get away with certain things or whatever. It's that same thing where like black and white friends were like, oh, okay, like I can say this and it's okay, but oh nope, too far. I've gone too far. Right, and it's that kind of.
It's like a toddler testing its boundaries.
Right, it really is, and like I was just always weirded out though in the sense of like, how come you guys feel so comfortable? Just because we're rapping. Do you know what I mean? Like, if we were doing anything else, and that's why I hate black people so much, son, because you gave the game away. Do you know what I mean? You gave the game away. You can't let motherfuckers feel that comfortable. I guess it's our fault, son. It's our fault in that regard.
To his credit, I don't think Eminem has ever said it.
Eminem's always been very
no.
aware in his raps about. I mean, Eminem's always been his raps. Like part of the reason he's so good is because he has been very honest in all his lyrics about the fact that he knows exactly why his career exists. Where he's if I had brown eyes, I would have done half. I didn't have to graduate from high school to know that. That's one of his lyrics in one point.
Yeah.
He knows that. You know what I mean? He's very acutely aware of that in that regard.
Eminem's comfortable with who he is. He's
Yeah,
never
he always
tried to
has
be
been.
not him.
He's always just been a fucking grimy white dude from the D.
And let me say,
Who can
I
spit
feel comfortable,
crazy.
blasting his jams in any neighborhood and singing along as slowly as possible because I know that no N-bombs are on the way.
True story.
Yeah.
I don't have to like turn down the radio
Yeah.
or anything like that.
You're comfortable with your rapping.
I feel like it's all. Like, I've
I'm
always
okay.
felt more uncomfortable with rap music listening around white friends. And
Me
I feel
too.
like than they do, just because I'm just like.
You know it's coming.
Like I get like it's like that irritation. Where I'm like, first of all, I know you motherfuckers recorded a radio edit, so you got the creativity to eliminate this shit, okay? But you're gonna make me be uncomfortable when I'm just trying to hang out and have a fucking good time in somebody's backyard because you ain't fucking lazy and you just want to make that easy money. Snoop Lion, I'm looking at you.
Snoop Lion.
I'm looking at you.
Wait, but you know the opposite.
She's
sometimes
not messing
will
about
happen.
with no broke guy who's larger than her.
No.
Guy who's bigger. Guy who's bigger. That doesn't lie. Yeah.
I've had like white guys or some other sort of non-black guy turn up their rap music when they see me, as if to like as if bait.
A white guy
attract me.
That happened to us
Yes.
a couple weeks ago.
That happened to us. We're driving and the
I
guy's
know
like,
what you
guy,
like.
saw us and then started like turning up. He was like Armenian or
Armenian.
something. He was like, hey ladies, and he was like trying to like seduce us with
Yeah, like
as
the
if we were gonna be like,
tracksuit
is
on.
that Jay-Z? Oh my god, like what is
You
happening?
understand
Yeah.
me. You like
I get you a good deal on Jay-Z records.
Hey,
okay?
buddy.
Like it's
Buddy.
Buddy.
It's a thing
Gold
where
chain,
it's like
Jay-Z music, I get you a good deal. Come
This
see
my
me.
car, I buy.
it's
I
really,
buy. I
like,
own.
it's really
I own.
weird to say. Like we kind of had this conversation a couple weeks ago
Drakkar.
where we were talking about where you were kind of mentioning how you felt like most of the radio stations either became rap or country.
Yeah.
And I was kind of pointing out, like, it's not so much that, it's just that rap just became mainstream as a
Yeah.
commercial
Absolutely. Yeah.
as a commercial entity. And kind of to that point, it's the thing where it's like, okay, the shorthand that everyone has culturally for black people is rap music. All right. And it's just the fucking most depressing, like misogynistic, worst thing in the world, essentially in large parts. Like the part that gets mass exported, not as a
Yeah.
whole art form, and like, I feel like that's kind of a more difficult thing that other cultures can't really understand. With black people who are like,
I
we've
would
been
say
having this conversation for years. It's not new for
amusingly,
us.
when Dave Chappelle in Killing Him Softly was talking about listening to some white music. We're not going.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a perfect, like every white guy loves that song. So I was just like, man, that's some good research there.
Twisted Sister, yeah.
Accuracy.
Twisted Sister is good, yeah. But I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the thing where it's like, if you were gonna fucking.
So like, no black guys ever drove up next to me and been like, "We're not,"
But, like,
looking
the-
at me like,
like,
"Hey,
yeah,
I'm down with your jam, huh?"
Or like even the fucking equivalent where it's like you won't even have someone drop like some fucking Coltrane. Do you know what I mean? Where like, hey, like some dude could like drive up on y'all and be like, I'm fucking bumping this Coltrane, motherfuckers, get in this bitch, and you might be a little bit more intrigued then, and like you might actually feel. But that's not the shorthand that we have for everyone.
Yeah, 'cause I
Oh,
was
that's
gonna
what get
say,
the top
that's-
stuff. Hold on, I gotta update my playlist.
Listen, while we're finishing right now, I want you to know I'm downloading all the black jazz artists on iTunes, all of them. I'm spending all my gift card money on this Miles
don't
Davis
even know
box
if
set.
people-
Scat tune. It's a man. I gotta come up and
Scat 'em.
scats.
Yeah, right. That's gonna be the new hotness, bro.
That
Oh, you
is.
can move your tongue.
Look, if a
well.
motherfucker comes up and scatting in front of you and starts doing the Charleston and shit, that's how you know you care.
I'm impressed.
But the scat man was a Latino guy.
They don't
Was
need to know
he?
that.
Right?
They don't need to know.
The ski ba 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 ba.
No, plenty. No, scatting is a. I mean,
No, I know that. I'm just saying that she
Scat
mentioned
Man.
the
Scat
scat
Man.
man song.
She didn't say scat man.
Man, I just want somebody to scat.
She just
No,
wants
I
a
got you.
A
man.
man that's
You
scat.
mean you mean like Anthony
A
Kiedis?
scatting man.
Scat on the cat.
Anthony Kiedis does the scatting. You know, well, early on, not so much these days, but early on.
Anthony Kiedis did a little bit of scatting. He was a raw
big on the
scatter,
scatting.
I guess you would say. in
How
that regard.
upset, by the way, are fans of scat music about scat not meaning that when you search it on the internet?
Are
Yeah.
there that many fans of scat music?
I'm just saying. For the 10,
That's
there
like a
are.
forgotten art.
Yeah, right. There's a couple of senior citizen homes that are holding down the
I
fort
feel
right
bad
now.
for like a kid.
competition.
100 strong.
Well, no,
and
yeah,
growing.
I feel bad for
Yeah.
like an elementary school kid that like hears about scat music, like doing like a
gotta
history
change
music
it.
class.
Oh,
And he
you
goes
hear
on the
scat.
internet. And he's like, "Oh, I'm looking for scat. I'm
Right?
big on scat."
Like,
and he's like,
it's
"Oh, that
poo.
ain't right at
Yeah.
all."
It is.
Yeah,
poo.
It's poo.
poo on the
yes.
face.
Put some
It's not
scat
just
in the mouth.
It's poo
Over
play.
a dope beat.
Poo on the mouth.
Yeah, that's.
Did
what-
you know it's poo on the mouth?
Yeah, scat
what
play.
scatting-
Scat,
scat play.
scatological.
Yeah.
Scatological.
Yeah.
Scatological.
Okay, wait. What
Poo
search
on the
engine are we
face.
using? Because
This
I
is
Is this
Google.
Wikipedia?
I
I
can
thought
show
scat
you
is just
now.
literally
It's
just
been that way for a while.
poo on the ground, like
when
just-
I
when
will
found
literally.
this
We're
out
gonna
as a
find out.
kid-
I'm just gonna type scat and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Are we
Maybe
gonna
it'll
see-
come up with the music.
Should you put images? No.
Scat
Okay.
singing, see?
Yeah, scat VW.
That's because the safe search is
But
turned on.
If I hit images,
Uh-oh.
it's not gonna get good. Yeah, there you go.
Oh
There
my
ain't not a
God,
scatter in
poo
there.
on the face. There's a lot of poo on the
Poo
face.
on the face. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what happens.
But it looked kind of like facial, poo, like meaning not
Yeah, like
so
the
much
mud,
sexual
yeah, the
as
mud,
much as
yeah,
like
yeah,
maybe a
sure,
technique. Maybe we should read
sure.
up on it. I don't know.
I'm
No, just me?
No, you
Okay.
don't.
telling you
don't
right now,
wanna-
it's
Just kidding.
You don't
scatological
wanna-
is a
Not
you don't-
interested.
is a term.
I don't want to.
Things involving
I
the
thought-
poo.
Right,
is
no. When
scatological.
I found that out as a kid, I was like, no, that's not what it means, though.
Yuck.
It's got a
That
whole.
ain't
It's
the
got a
right
whole
thing,
art
though.
form.
My thing about that,
deep.
like, how do you get to that comfort level with the person that you're being intimate with? To
Yes,
be like,
just-
so
Yes.
I know we've tried missionary. Wanted to see if maybe you would
My
shit on my
theory.
face.
My theory is that
Like,
it always has to start off that way.
It has to start off with anal.
Well, okay, well that's fair.
Let's take baby. Like you
I
pulls
feel
it
like
out. It's like
I feel like it's. I feel like you just put all your chips on the table. It's very similar to like kind of like I feel like R. Kelly is the most sexually liberated person in the world.
I know.
because
Bless
he,
him.
like listen like for
God
better,
is good.
Like
bless his heart.
bless his heart. He just
heart.
don't know no better, Poe Robert.
I think I theorize. I theorize because I'm not into scat, but I'm just saying that the things I've discovered, like things I'm kind of into, you throw out a joke, like
Oh right.
and you kind of see where they
test the
where they
waters.
go. You could be like, man, I would shit on you on the first date, and if they were like, oh, I'd probably be into that. How do you know I'm not into that? Because they want a joke too, and you go like, I will shit on you right now,
Bet you.
and then
you
they'd be
won't.
like, really?
and then
and
you
you're
go out
like,
to
oh,
eat
we're
bad
in, we're done,
Ethiopian
let's do this.
food and you get your shit
No,
on.
no, it's actually a whole process.
Like,
I
does
don't
he
know.
squat over?
I'm
her?
serious.
Like, you can
I
do
knew
that,
a
I
girl
guess.
who
Like
she did
that.
it professionally, so she
She's-
told me.
She went to people's houses and shitted on them.
Yeah,
And then
they
she
actually
left.
would go to her dungeon and she would shit on them. Yeah.
How much
Okay.
did she make?
Tons, buku bucks.
Just to shit on someone's
I think
face?
it was.
You know how much
really
money?
good money.
Do you know how
I
much
think it was
money
like-
you
I
have
think
to
it was like-
make in order to live out that fantasy?
I
You
want to
cannot
say
be
it was
poor.
like
You can't be. You
per
can't have
session
like a $20 a day
about
crack habit.
about $1,000 per session.
right?
Because
poor
there's-
people are not allowed
Because
fetishes
it's
like
24
that.
hours of
You shouldn't
preparation.
have to.
Because she first
should-
have to
like,
like
life is
clean
hard
out
already.
everything, right? Just do her normal
Just drink
daily day
2
business,
bowls
and then
of
from
top
that
ramen.
point
The
on, she's
sodium
got to
will kick
eat
in.
certain things
to make the poo.
to make sure that like the texture and doesn't, you know, what I mean, this whole
Yeah.
thing. So it's like a 24-hour thing. So she's basically saying, I'm charging you for the 24 hours of time that it takes me to prepare for this, the act itself,
Right.
and then the damage it does to my body because I had to alter my dietary habits for that day.
Right.
That's why it was about
And
a
the
thou
cleanup.
session.
And the cleanup.
No, then the cleanup.
Who-
But she had
who's-
people had.
Who's
Oh,
the
I think it
picky
should be
guy
more
who's
than
like, you
1,000.
know what? I'm sorry. This poo's just not working
Yeah,
for
right.
me. If we can just...
I requested no spinach.
I re-
No spinach. I said no spinach in your
He like
bag.
really thinks about it on the
no
drive
tip
home.
for you.
I'm allergic to cheese.
I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh,
I got a peanut allergy and I see it. No,
Oh no, a peanut allergy.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
So, like, it's just so.
disgusting.
I'm just saying, like I've said, like
That's
I've
a bridge
said,
too far in this
I've
game.
jokingly said fucked up shit, and when they're like, "How do you know I wouldn't be into that?" and then I'll be like, "I would do that right now." And if they're like, "Let's do it," then I'm like, "All right, putting that on the list." And like, you're into that.
Okay, so let's get
Right.
some appetizers and peace out
I'm
this
not
bitch.
talking about shit. I'm talking about shit that I'm into.
I know. I was talking about
Oh,
appetizer. I'm talking
all
about
right.
continuing the
Sorry,
course.
because she
You
was
get your
talking
mind
about
out the gutter
I'm
right
sorry.
now.
Last time, Reyna also discussed food right
Yeah.
after
Right.
that.
You
fair.
thought appetizers.
That's
So
fair.
I'm apologizing.
No,
You're
but
right.
that's what I'm saying.
She just
though.
said, let's get some drinks.
That's
I
why,
would have been
that's
like,
why at
all
the
right.
opposite end of
I
your
get it.
spectrum
Yeah.
is R. Kelly, who doesn't even have to worry about those fucking.
Well, now he
shackles.
doesn't.
Yeah,
Sure,
that's what I'm
'cause he
saying.
got
So
video.
he's the most liberated. Well, no, not even the video, right? So it's just that rep is in the streets, right? So if R. Kelly approaches you, that already comes with the knowledge of, hey, listen, I like peeing on people, okay? That's what I like to do. If I'm talking to you, I clearly kind of want to pee on you. Just know that that's in consideration right now.
Right.
If that's not your bag, just move on out the way, okay?
I'd be
Here's my
flattered
theory,
if R.
though.
Kelly wanted to pee on me. I'd be flattered. I'm flattered. You know?
You wouldn't let him do it, but you'd be
No,
flattered.
it's just the fact that you thought highly of me to pee on me.
Right. Here's my theory, though. I
made
theorize
art.
he
He made
probably.
chocolate
You don't make this offer to a lot of people, and I know that, R. I know that about you.
You
see something in me.
Play.
Yeah,
That
right?
You
man's a
see the
genius.
pee in me.
I'm not gonna let you do it. I'm not gonna let you do it.
But I'm
you can
flattered.
step in the name on love out of here, okay?
I feel like he probably. I don't even know if that's necessarily something he's into. That probably was something he wanted to try. And the girl was like younger.
Bro, you don't know R. Kelly. So.
What I'm saying is, the girl was younger. She looks up to him. This is my
No.
hero,
He's
and he's
peed
like,
on
I
me
could
before.
literally do anything
You
I
talk
want
about a
with
man
this girl.
who dropped a whole track called Sex Kitchen.
you know, I
man dropped
get it,
Sex
I get
Planet,
it.
son. Your man definitely wanted to pee on somebody. That's not.
He's done
got
with
it.
regular
And
sex.
she picked up the spatula. Right? No, I get it. I'm just saying. Theoretically, you know, you'd be like, look, this woman said literally, I'll do anything you want. And he's like, would you sit on your knees while I pee on your face? And she's like, yes. And he's like, well, I got to get this on video because there's nobody's going to believe me when I tell them this happened.
That's why I can't.
And that's why there's a video of it. I'm just saying. That's my theory.
First of all,
Take it as you will.
people in the hood just like to film everything, which is like the worst idea in the
Yeah,
world,
we
right?
film
We
everything.
really talk about the
Now,
fact
this is
that
before digital video.
no,
though.
some
Exactly, so you should know how
this
amply
is-
was to even
this-
film
right?
anything.
Okay,
That's
this is
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying. That's
saying.
like a
son.
lot of work.
The hood is always like,
I mean, World Star Hip Hop is just fight videos.
yo, but it's
They're like people filming everything.
Yo, World Star Hip Hop is bigger than that. World Star Hip Hop is like an anthropologist's wet dream, son. Because you just see people in their element, and you're just like, y'all just, god damn, like what is happening right now,
Yeah.
son? You really just get a window into the human experience that you never could have a couple decades ago.
Yeah.
Do you spend a lot of time on?
World Star Hip Hop?
I mean, have you know?
I know
game.
World Star
You
Hip
don't
Hop,
have a
yes.
game, but I don't like. I have friends
Let's be
every
fair,
now and
nobody hangs out on
No.
that.
No.
No,
There
but there are frequent visitors.
There are
Yeah,
frequent
you dip,
visitors.
yeah, you dip
Go
and
on
dive.
every
And every
day.
now and then you have a friend who's like, "Oh my god, have you heard of this thing called World Star Hip Hop?"
And
And
you
I'm
have to
like,
go.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I don't need to see that video. I remember the day that I like knew that it had a name. That was the day that like crushed me because like you knew
World
that
Star
fight,
Hip
right? You knew that like the fight videos and like all the hood shit was there on the internet.
Now there's like a source you can go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
like
Especially
like
for
it
that.
used to just be the old dark corners of the internet. Do you know what I mean? But then it fucking got all corporate and shit. Now it's just a dude being like, "World Star Hip Hop, bitch." Do you know what I mean? And people are like, "Yeah, I'm putting this on World Star." And you're like, "Oh, we ain't never gonna be free."
And how much of it
We
is
ain't never gonna
worldly?
be free.
How much of it is actually worldly or hip hop?
None of it,
You know,
yo.
none of it
Nobody's
has
a star.
anything to
Yeah.
do or stars.
Yo, watching
Nothing about
motherfuckers get
stars.
stomped outside of Burger King is not hip hop, son. Yo, Grandmaster Flash is not about that life. That is not what was
That's
happening.
not what our forefathers.
Yo, yeah, right.
Our
I'm pretty
forefathers.
sure the message was not about being pushed to the edge at the fucking KFC Pizza Hut jump off. Pretty sure that was
I've
not
seen a
it.
chick fall off backwards from an ice cream machine, like a little vendor, and she was drunk, passed out.
And
fell
that's a
off,
video.
And it was on World Star. People were like, I'm putting this on World Star.
Right, yo, I'm just like, yo, y'all don't give a fuck about nobody's life anymore. the streets, son.
That's how real the streets are.
Streets. This shit is.
See, the closest I would say the first time I was probably like 5-6 years ago, like the first video I saw on there was relatively true to the name. It was just a video of a guy at a party fucking a girl doggy style while rapping.
What video is this? And who's the rapper?
It wasn't like a choreograph.
matter.
This is
Young
not
Doggy
like an
Style.
MTV.
You ain't heard of Young
I'm
Doggy
talking
Style?
about, I'm talking about like this is like the guy holding the phone camera or whatever just was walking through this party and like went in, heard some noises, went into a room and he's filming the guy and he was like, "Yo, man, bust out a rhyme, whatever you say." And the guy was like, "All right." And so
Bust out a rhyme. Whatever you say is what I'm coming.
I'm saying whatever he gave the man who was in the middle of his business the indication that it was time to rap. And so he was like, he looked at the camera and he goes, "All right, I'm gonna do this." And he just fucking went freestyle for like a minute and a half while fucking this girl. And I just thought, like, kudos. All right.
Was the flow good or was the stroke better?
I mean, to be fair, you couldn't really see the stroke. The camera was not on the stroke; it was mostly on the dude's face.
But his rhythm.
You gotta get the product.
I felt
you know
really
what I'm
bad
saying?
for the girl who was like on bottom because like she was just like looking at the camera, and every once in a while she'd like turn her head like this. Was like, oh, come on.
She's not a team player because she could have came with the.
Yeah, right.
Like,
That's
and
how
then
you
that
know.
would've been a
That's
good
how
idea.
you
That's the first real
know.
video girl
That's how
for
you
real.
know. To bring it all back
I
to the
feel
side
like
hoe
right at that
discussion,
moment she's
okay?
like, "Oh
She
fuck!"
wasn't playing her
She's
part.
like,
Right?
"I just became that girl who's just like, no matter what happens
she
during
was that
sex,
girl
I'll just
from
go
the-
with it."
Yeah,
I mean,
she just
obviously.
realized how
She
deep
realized.
the game was.
She
She just
realized she became
everybody
it.
now knows she's
Right.
that girl.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
a real diehard
Kashana,
side
you're the
hoe.
one that was getting fucked with the dude's
Now
rapping.
here, I'm glad we brought the side hoe because I'm wanting to see how much your street game is right now. Are you familiar with ratchets, Mitch? Are you familiar with the ratchet game?
I mean, I'm familiar with the tool, but not
okay,
whatever you're talking about.
You're close. I'll let so. What would you say is the difference between a side hoe and a ratchet, if there is a difference at all? And for the people out in Riffopolis who don't know what a ratchet is,
You could just me right here even as well.
I'm starting to think there's different definitions though of
Yeah,
ratchet because I wouldn't even put those in the same category.
So please,
go
ahead now.
I would think ratchet is more of a personality, like the way a woman carries herself. It's very ratchet-like.
Yes. It's stank. It's
What would you
it's
use a
little
ratchet
bit-
for, Mitch? What would you just kind of?
Tightening nuts.
See,
There it is, right there.
they do that too. Ratchets do tighten nuts.
It's just it's literally the like as you like. I just think of it as a tool. So do they.
Yeah.
In the same kind of like you're just a fucking and the ratchets kind of self-embrace it, which is the weirdest
Yeah.
part. I've seen girls who like ratchet beanies on, and I'm like,
Yeah, very
that
proud.
is like you're not supposed to put the scarlet letter on yourself.
You're talking about the girl who like you're at a party and the girl who like takes a shot and she goes, "Who am I fucking tonight?" And you're like, "All right, so would that be the ratchet as it were?"
I don't necessarily associate with,
No?
with something that has to be sexual per
yeah.
se.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's just a lifestyle. It's just
For lack of a better word, I want to say ghetto, but I don't
Is it
really
like
like that
hot
term
mess?
as much.
Is it like a hot mess?
Ghetto is understood a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a hot
Yes.
mess.
It would be that
Okay.
kind of like
All right.
ghetto fabulous
Yes.
hot mess.
Hot
It's
mess.
like-
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
kind of
it's
girl
like
who wouldn't
exceeding
care if a guy
ghetto.
was freestyle
It's
rapping
like-
on video while he was fucking her doggy style at a party on a fucking mattress with no sheets.
A ratchet might care because she wouldn't just let some regular ass bitch with no,
No, a
lane
ratchet would do
freestyle.
it because she's about that life.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. She would be laying the beat down though. She would
Be laying the beat.
Now
She would
she'll
be
be
done.
fixing her hair, making sure she looks good. on
Right, she
camera.
would not be covering her face.
Are you filming?
She would embrace it. It's a difference.
She'd
The
be like,
ratchet.
damn, Malik, you ain't told me you was filming.
Yeah, right. That's what you would hear in the background. You'd be like, "Oh my God, we about to be on World
World
Star."
No, she'd come in with the
circle.
hook
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Ain't nobody fucking like you." That's what she do.
Now we got a new YouTube skit for you. You can film
good.
that where she like looks up, she goes, "Oh, how
Good.
her hair look."
Yeah.
You know.
Ratchet should have been calling her homegirl on the phone like, girl, I'm about to be paid.
Yeah, right. Ratchets are all the girls that you see in like the hip hop videos who are just like in the. I feel like the quintessential ratchet definition would be in Nelly's Tip Drill video, the one that just like blew up when BET just couldn't play.
I need a tip, Drew.
They couldn't play like that was like everyone realized that BET was basically playing softcore pornography late at night, and they were
Yeah.
like, "We gotta shut this
Would
down."
you say any of the girls in the pussy popping video would also be ratchets? or are they just talented?
Which pussy pop?
Because I call it
Ludacris.
talented.
Ludacris.
Oh.
The like unrated one that was on
You're
World
talking
Star
about
Hip
Pussy
Hop.
Poppin'
He's talking about the
Yeah.
actual, pussy popping.
Okay.
Like the unrated one where you can actually see
Yeah.
it happen.
Yeah.
That was on
the
Chicken
act-
and Beer.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
actual that. So that video that was around the same time of Tip
Wait,
Drill.
so chicken and beer not the same as soda with a chicken soup on the side?
Chicken noodle soup with a soda. on
Yeah,
the
no,
side, yes.
different.
Chicken and beer, one of
These are all
Ludacris's
things I don't
breakthrough
know.
albums.
Chicken noodle soup is an actual dance.
Yeah,
I mean,
we went through this with him before. He was
That's
very
all this is-
bamboozled by the existence of
But
it.
it actually does work in real life, you know. Get you a
what's
nice
that?
cup of soup and some ginger ale on the side.
Ginger ale.
Yeah, that should be the.
That's
soda
not
choice.
as catchy
For sickness.
as a hook.
Because,
It's
yeah.
not, but it's
Chicken
still,
noodle soup with a ginger
7
ale on
Up.
the
but
side
ginger
is
ale
not going to clear
but
the
ginger
dance
ale is
floor.
7 Up.
technically a soda, so
Yeah, in Canada maybe.
Canada Dry.
Chicken noodle soup.
Right, it's true. Canada Dry would be.
Canada Dry.
I always went with 7 Up. That's what I was always told. 7 Up. But I guess ginger. I just can't. It's hard to take the taste of
But
ginger
yeah,
ale.
so the
I
same-
guess when you're sick, you can't taste much
The
anyway.
same
so
girls
yeah.
that you're talking about from the Pussy Poppin' video would be the same girl in the Tip Drill video. There's one where like someone in Nelly's crew literally does the credit card ass swipe on her.
See, I wouldn't even consider them to be ratchet because they're
You
at
wouldn't
work.
consider that-
They're at
you
work.
wouldn't consider
They're
them
strippers.
ratchets.
They're at work. Ratchet would be the girl. Who
I don't know
does
if Reyna.
this-
I don't know if Reyna
This is
is
just-
agreeing.
But wait,
with
wait,
that.
wait. So
Different
Ratchet would be the
perspectives.
girl who came along with the crew and saw what they were doing and was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do it over here
She's
in
a
the corner for
professional.
free."
She's a professional.
Yeah, and she's not even getting
Exactly.
paid.
Right,
She's
right.
not getting paid. She's like, I can do this better than you. That's ratchet.
Yeah.
That's
go-
just my opinion.
She goes to strip on amateur night.
Yeah.
Okay, damn.
My kind of girl. Yeah.
Mitch is like, I'm taking a lot of notes right now.
He's like, so
Where
where
would I
can I
find
find
this?
these ratchets?
Is there like
I get
clubs?
The
I'm
next
just
like
wondering.
sick, yeah, Duck Club is where
You
you,
wouldn't
can find
happen
them.
to find like a certain club
If
that's
you went
just
to
for ratchets.
Yeah, all the clubs.
If you
Uh,
Googled like
Oh, yeah,
like
Duck Club.
images of Ratchet, do you
fucked.
think now Ratchet is big enough? Ratchet.
I think it is.
Now I'm guessing you probably
Just Ratchet by
I'm
itself, I
guessing
think
it
you can get
doesn't
it.
get spelled with the W in the front. If I had to take a guess.
Oh no, you're
No.
right. You're
Okay,
right.
so
We
that's
kick
not
that
even a
W
real
out of the
thing.
way. Just
See, then it's probably okay.
Mitch, you're getting black people more and more every day now.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
See, that's not now a ratchet is with a W in the front.
They had Urban Dictionary. You see
Yeah.
that?
Oh, that's
I
also
like
a
how it
cartoon
is
character.
that is a disappointing search for a child from the hood who is like, I'm trying to find out why people call my mama a ratchet, and they're like, oh, she's a Skylander.
But if you went back before the images, they had
Yeah,
Urban
what's-
Dictionary.
what's-
yeah,
see it.
no, I saw that.
I want to see what the Urban
I saw
Dictionary
the,
definition is.
It said a
Because
diva.
we may all be
a
wrong.
diva.
That's,
Mostly,
Ratchet wrote that one,
they,
clearly.
They call
Ratchet
it
wrote that one.
a diva, mostly from urban cities and ghettos, that has reason to believe she is every man's eye candy. Unfortunately, she's wrong.
That sounds about right, yeah.
That's nice.
Would
yeah.
you
Typical signs include, but are not limited to, owning a BlackBerry. Blair's anything by Drake, 2 Chainz, Nicki Minaj, Gucci Mane.
Wait, stop at the
Stop,
first one.
stop.
Owning a BlackBerry.
Stop.
Is that
Ooh,
a
you
requirement?
ratchet.
That's a requirement.
You got a BlackBerry? Oh, you ratchet.
Is that can you have
This
you
is
encountered a lot of
typical, but
Like
BlackBerry?
anything
Yes.
Drake, 2 Chainz, Nicki Minaj, Gucci Man. I can
Gucci.
understand.
If you like Gucci Man, you basically ratchet.
You are ratchet.
Wears
ratchet.
torn leggings, stockings, mostly of the fishnet variety, unpolished 8-inch heels or higher, depending on how god-awful they look, fitted jean jackets to accent the blubber around their arms and stomach, and 4 layers of caked-on makeup to go out clubbing.
Wait a minute. What is the jacket? Excuse me. Wait, you have to have flap arms? That's a requirement for ratchet.
You
I
can't
don't
have-
know.
you gotta
Look,
have
this
skinny
is said.
arms.
What,
This is like one dude who
it said,
like knew a ratchet
includes-
real well and was like, I'm gonna tell you what these bitches look like.
This is a dude who got broken up by some random chick, and
He
he's like,
felt-
"She's ratchet."
He
Just
got-
describe
He got
her.
left by Ratchet at the
Rodney-
altar. That's basically what happened.
Rodney quotes lyrics from.
Yeah, Readily quotes
wear
lyrics
glasses,
from
sorry.
Nicki Minaj, Gucci Mane, Waka Flocka,
Repeatedly-
Lil Wayne, T-Pain, Cali Swag District, or any other garbage entertainment rapper. That's their quote, not
This
mine.
person's bitter.
Repeatedly used ludicrous terms such as YOLO, swag, boost, etc. Beaking, dough, really, nah, actually,
Wait, what are
twerk,
these
coaster,
words?
dagga.
Custard.
Dags. What?
No, coaster. I didn't say custard.
Oh,
Break,
hungry.
beaking, dough, really,
I feel like
nah,
I don't know any of
No?
these words. I feel like
no.
This
of
is like the
course.
like the
No.
most bizarre Ratchet case file that anyone's ever come across. Who's like, who's this rat? Hey,
This
what
is
up
the
with the coaster, bitch? You're like, why you gotta be treated like me? Like this,
Did it say
Rashonda?
how to weave? Was that?
This
what
is
it
like
was?
an archaic like
This is like
ratchet.
the
This is the first ratchet
yeah,
ever
first-
found.
yeah,
Said
yeah, you
we-
know what I mean?
Studying
It
her,
mentions
like-
This
a
is
way-
like the Lucy of ratchets, you know? It's like
Patient zero of
yeah,
ratchets.
page 0 of ratchets, son.
I bet if I
Wow.
put in woman up here, it'd probably work out. Oh,
Google might explode
You
it.
It's
ratchet.
like they found us. Like,
Here
what
we go.
should
It says
call
related
them?
searches. If I type in you ratchet, there we go. Now
All of this is all accurate.
these are
Yeah.
all ratchet.
Especially
Yeah.
that one down
Yeah.
there with the
Yeah.
big girl who's on the lap of that guy down right there. No, over and
Oh,
bam.
ooh, wow.
That one, but
That's
the
a
first one up
perfect.
top, the first row with the group of girls. in
Yeah,
the middle.
that's all ratchet right
That
there.
is complete ratchet.
That's
ratchet.
see that fits
That's
the
ratchet.
description.
First of all,
from
you got to
earlier.
see that they're at a formal event of some kind,
Yeah, 'cause
right?
they have on shoes.
Right, and they got some sort of background that you can pose in pictures. Do the
She's
prom
wearing
picture.
crotchless leggings.
No,
First
that's
of all,
that's
one chick
crotchless
doesn't even have a
onesie.
dress on. She didn't have what of them does he have a dress
She just
on?
had panties and a bra. Fuck it.
Yeah. She,
Oh yeah, I remember
that's
this photo.
That is probably the most
I always
ratchet.
like this photo.
That
That's the
is
girl
the-
who takes a self picture in the bathroom and leaves a dookie floating in the toilet.
Yes.
She's
The
a
fact that you
scat
called
woman.
it Dookie is hilarious.
That's
Oh.
awesome.
this is a fucking crash course in all things ratchet right now. There's no way.
What about this with the gold tooth?
That's Beyonce.
Licking.
And yes, that
all
is
right.
ratchet right
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
She's peeing on the side of the street.
Ratchet.
And her friends are taking pictures and they're all joining in. That's
Well,
kind of
there you go.
Ratchet? Ratchet is just
This, I don't know who
Earrings
this
like
is. Well,
I got
all right. Good times. Good times.
You got a little. See, I mean, look, it's,
Yeah, see, I'm not knowing all these things, so it's
Well, I mean, it's a
fine,
good thing.
fine.
Now, see, next time you're out in the streets, Mitch, you're gonna see some girls, and you're gonna be like, "You're a ratchet. You are. You don't know it.
Oh, there's a-
You don't even know that word exists. But if I put you there, you'd be one.
You're
Would it be safe to say you are a ratchet bitch? Is this? Am I off?
And this-
Somewhat accurate.
And then
Our number
after
one
you-
super fan linked me to a Twitter Ratchet Girl Problems.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
You know what'd be great though is if you walk away and then you walk back to him and then you go without the W, and then
Without the W.
No, see, she's not ratchet. This
I
is
get 53 dates on Black People Meet. Holla, I'm so sexy.
I don't know if this girl
I
is.
don't know. I
She's
really
not
want to run
ratchet.
and all, but my body gonna do that wiggle shake
Yeah,
if I do.
yeah. See, that's
This is
how
just
you,
a white girl trying to live ratchet girl fantasies.
Clearly.
I feel like that seems
Clearly.
like.
Yeah, yeah.
First of all, you could tell because she no soft she
Yeah.
just called Tigger a nigger. She called him that. That's how you can always tell people on the internet. You can catfish all you want to, okay, but black people will suss you out.
I'm glad we brought this up because I had one topic written down, a topic based on a link I found, and that topic there all come together beautifully.
Inception ripping.
On your Twitter, you say that you speak Oaklandese, which we'll get to in a moment.
Okay.
On Big Think, a writer wrote an article suggesting that you know what a shibboleth is? I think it's shibboleth. Yes, shibboleth is a term for something that locals will say correctly. I'm trying to. A shibboleth is a word that insiders can pronounce, but outsiders presumably cannot, because it's used as like a deliberate test.
right.
I looked it up on Wikipedia. They had like an example of it. Doesn't really matter.
Same
This
it's kind
guy-
of in LA. It's kind of like saying rodeo versus rodeo. Same thing. If you know what
Yeah,
side
right.
of LA you're on, you
Right.
Wilshire versus Wilshire. That kind
Exactly.
Right.
I don't
Well,
know none of
this
that
is
shit.
this is what this guy he posits that the anti shibboleth, that if you hear somebody say this, they're clearly not from where you're from, should be called a Frisco, because nobody in San Francisco would ever say Frisco, but people visiting there will call it that, or from outside of there. And you
Right.
being from Oakland, I assume there's a shitload of those. Wilshire is a perfect example for LA. If somebody ever says Wilshire, you're like, okay, you don't live here. All right, got that, figured that out. You know, you didn't have to say anything. You just know, like,
La Cienega is another one. If you can't tackle.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
What is it?
La Cienega.
La Cienega.
Just-
It's.
She's like, keep going. I need more of these
I'll
streets
take. I
that
know.
need
I'll
to
take
be.
you. I'll take you on a tour.
Thanks. I need a quick update.
So how long were you born and raised in Oakland?
I was born in San Francisco, actually, so it's funny that you bring up the Frisco thing. I was born in San Francisco, and then I did my I did like middle school and high school in Oakland because I moved to the East Bay. So
Area.
I'm all yay area. Yeah, but see, I say Frisco, but it's true that like the majority of people who are from San Francisco don't say Frisco. I got to
they call it but most annoying thing is they call it the city.
the city. Yeah,
Even when they're not in, like,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
friend of mine lives up in San Francisco. She's in L.A. and she's like, in the city. I'm like, listen, you're in the fucking
You're in
city
the
now.
city. Well,
Our
because
city's bigger.
San Francisco is the city
I
and
know,
Oakland
yeah.
is the town.
Is that how it works?
That's how it works.
Damn.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it feels. You know what I mean?
I mean, well,
Like-
you know what it is, though? I feel like, again, Chappelle kind of caught that dynamic really well.
Oh, yeah, he
in his
did.
special For What It's Worth, when he goes back and records, and he starts off where he's like, I was wondering how San Francisco is so nice, and like, I know how it is now. You shipped all the niggas on the other side of the bridge to
Right,
Oakland. That's how
right.
it is. And I feel like that makes a lot of sense if, hearing the larger linguistic dynamic of Oakland being the
Although
town.
a town sounds folksy.
No,
Yeah.
town sounds poor, son.
It ain't the city.
It ain't the city. Living in the city.
Right.
So y'all trying.
Yeah.
It's a Dave Chappelle
I'm thinking
moment.
like in the South, like a town is like that's
Small.
not
it's
so much
more
where you want to be,
community.
but it's like you can kind of sort of brag
Exactly,
about it. Like,
no.
listen, I live
People
in the
don't
town.
in the South.
We work for our money in the
No,
town.
in the South,
You city folk.
people don't want to be. They'll stay in the town because that's
They
what
don't
they
wanna be
got.
there.
But they don't want to fucking be in the town. Everyone wants to get the fuck out of the South and the towns to the cities. That's why cities exist. We used to just have towns.
But you have the town people who are scared of the city too.
Exactly. And they fucking fear the city. And when
Yeah.
motherfuckers come back from the city to the town and they all highfalutin and shit, that's when you die.
But you know what? Like the thing is, like as close as San Francisco and Oakland are, you do have the dynamic of the people like in Oakland who are like, "Oh, I never go to San Francisco. What's on the other side of the bridge?" And it's
Yeah.
like, what are you like? Just get on the train. Like, are you
Yeah.
serious? There's the same thing in New York. The
Yeah.
boroughs, people are like, "I never go to Queens." You know,
Yeah.
like what's
I
happening?
don't fuck with the Bronx. And I'm
Never
like,
broke
I'm
with the
like,
Bronx.
yeah,
I
I'm
don't
like,
fuck with the Bronx. I don't fuck with the Bronx.
Wait, Lulu's
I
like,
don't fuck-
she's like, all jokes aside,
like,
though.
oh,
I'm
that's
not
accurate,
even-
that's
It's not.
accurate.
It's real. It's real.
I am a Brooklyn girl. I'll stay a Brooklyn girl. Don't
Now,
fuck
what
with
is
the
it?
Bronx.
What is it based on for you though? What is it? What is that?
You wouldn't travel there, or you wouldn't like.
I mean, I've
get a
traveled
place
there. I've dated guys from there, but
I'm not gonna hang out.
I'm not gonna live
I'm
there.
not gonna feel comfortable.
Yeah,
My
it's
dad's
not
from the
home.
Bronx, homie.
It's like a whole other world. It's like the people talk different, they move different, the guys are different, the women are different. It's just completely new
Whole
world.
cultural dynamic.
It's a
and shit.
whole new dynamic, and it's just like it's not my hood. I don't feel comfortable there. I can't rest my head there. So
That's so great. She was like, everybody else is joking. She's like, yeah, but for real though.
real. No, I don't
ain't
like the
nobody.
Bronx.
Yo, you gonna move me to the Bronx? I'll burn that fucking
I would-
brownstone down.
I would rather move to Jersey than move to the Bronx.
Oh my God, we can't even talk about Jersey. That's
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, shots
I'm gonna act
fired.
like she didn't say that.
Shots
Everybody
fired.
who knows me, I talk
Yo,
shit about the Bronx
get
every day.
down
I
right
hate the
now.
Bronx.
The
Damn.
first night I ever stayed in New York, I stayed in the Bronx.
Yo, good thing you weren't there when Lulu was there. She would
Right?
slit your throat. Like, I'm doing you a favor.
Get out while you can.
It's
Exactly.
horrible in the Bronx.
She just keep throwing it down. No, it's the worst.
It's the worst place
I would rather be in Port-au-Prince than the Bronx.
I was in Iraq,
I would think
and
that
I would
you
rather
wouldn't-
go back than go back to the Bronx.
Jesus. At least in the Bronx, you could take a train or
Whatever, son. I got
subway
opportunities to make
Alright.
money. They just got pallets of money sitting around in Iraq. That shit don't exist in the Bronx.
No,
Ain't
it
no
doesn't.
pallet of nothing.
Yeah, right?
Like I'm pretty sure that
Pound of hunger.
one of the things with the shibboleth thing comes from is I remember it was probably in the 20s. Some reporter was like, no one in New York would ever call it the Big Apple. You know,
We
they're
don't call it
tourists
that,
if they
yeah.
Right,
exactly.
yeah.
But if somebody was like in New York and like Big Apple, huh? You'd be like, you're not from here.
Right. I can't really think of
Nobody
other
calls
things.
California Cali that lives in Cali.
Or NorCal.
Oh, God,
NorCal,
yeah,
NorCal
yeah.
is how you can tell.
SoCal.
That's
Now,
people
SoCal I
transplant.
will
Yeah.
kind of
SoCal will
use just
do,
as
but
a
See,
I say
only
Cali.
only as a directional.
You know
like, if
how
I'm talking to
Cali,
somebody in New York, I'm like,
but
yeah, I
the
live
Cali
in SoCal.
thing though,
I usually just say
the
Hollywood.
Cali
Yeah.
thing, even if you kind of trace its roots back culturally to becoming this kind of colloquial phrase, it really kind of goes back to hip hop and rap with LL and Biggie, who both were saying Cali, and they were New York cats.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, it is the sense that
I'm
they
going
were,
back to Cali.
I'm going back to Cali. It was not. They weren't California rappers. They weren't. They
Yeah.
weren't Cube. It wasn't Snoop. It wasn't
Yeah.
Tupac. It wasn't Dre. It
Because
wasn't.
they were straight out of Compton.
You know what I'm saying? They had neighborhoods to rep and shit. It
Right.
was Inglewood. It was
Right.
Compton. It wasn't fucking Cali. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the state as a thing was fucking irrelevant to
Well,
them.
because we're not even necessarily. I mean, yes, we
LA
are,
isn't
but-
even a city. It's not a real
No.
city. It's a city state, essentially.
Exactly. It's
In the
certain like regional
It's
areas.
a modern. It is really a modern day city state. You know, I mean, it's a sense that WeHo's a city, Inglewood's a city, Culver City is a city. You know, Hollywood's its own thing, Burbank's a thing, or whatever. There's no real LA unified
No.
identity, unlike other places like a New York. Like, yeah, you might rep a borough, but you also can rep New York
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
same at the end of the day. But kind of to your point with the shibboleth kind of thing, I feel like a good example of that right now would be with Lil Wayne and his incident, and how a lot of people are kind of being like, so people are actually just drinking syrup.
What incident?
With he was in the hospital because he had seizures.
Again?
Yeah, like this past week, and TMZ was reporting that he was getting last rites versus people being like, no, it's not that serious. But either way, he was in the hospital for seizures related to just fucking drinking codeine all the time. But there's a lot of like the news is now having to report on him since he's so commercial and explaining what scissorp is to people.
Which I thought was amusing as fuck.
And that's the thing that's really amusing, where like a lot of people are like, is that like really? Y'all didn't know? Because in the South, like there's no way you don't know if you're in the South.
I actually seen an LA casting today, and it said, "Are you drinking scissor?" I was like,
it's making the talk show circuit.
show
Wait, but as
Ricky
desperate as desperate as we are for like IMDb credits, we're like, should I start to qualify for this
right.
gig?
Are they going to test me?
Yeah, right?
Maybe I
This
should
could be
really
it.
put on my acting skills. I'm
Yeah,
on
right.
scissor.
Yeah, listen, I got all this 3-6 Mafia bumping right now. You know what I'm saying? But like that's the thing where
Episode 42 of My Strange Addiction. I'm addicted to all this purple drink and scissor.
yeah, right? Like I think that's the
I
thing
can't
that's
get
so-
enough of it.
Like that's kind of
But that is
amusing.
real. That is
But
real.
I think it's really amusing.
I
Though,
know
like,
people who's addicted to
culturally, for a lot of people who would be in sort of the traditional media, they have no exposure to that. You know, especially if you're someone in like on the East Coast or whatever.
Right.
Scissorp is not a thing.
It's not a thing.
But if you're down south, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like you're going to fucking know about it because that's just that it's been there. It has been there regionally for so long, and so many people have died from it, and it's been such a thing that
I feel a little racist about the fact that like I just think it's inappropriate for black people to do anything besides smoke weed. Like it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And like clearly there's crack, there's heroin. I mean, we know this. You know, but I just feel like it's weird. It's like, why? No, we smoke weed.
Like, do you want to
guys.
get higher? Like, how
the thing
high
that I
do you
find
want to
is,
go?
the thing that I think is really interesting. I've seen like a lot of white people who are like older white people who are hearing about scissor for the first time, and that's kind of the that's the real interesting litmus test of mainstream sort of cultural acceptance. And the thing that's interesting is like Lil Wayne is kind of the fucking rock star of the day, for the youth, and just being reckless and not giving a fuck and just being irresponsible and all that good shit. And they're kind of like, wait a minute, hold on a second. You mean to tell me you can't afford real drugs? Like,
Right.
it's like that's their reaction. It's kind of like, wait, like the fuck are you drinking
Well, but
cough
see-
syrup for?
see, but
Even
you
if it's
can-
high grade prescription shit, like you can't get real drugs.
There are like $500 bottle of cough syrups.
You know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
you could say the
yeah.
same thing for meth. Meth
Right.
is the most poor.
Oh,
like,
meth
dude,
is
we
garbage.
gotta get
Ditto
fucked
crack,
up. What are
for
we
that
gonna
matter.
do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like
Yeah, but it is a
making
test-
something out of nothing.
Yeah,
But I think meth users or people who own meth labs are like fucking geniuses. Like, you created a lab.
let's
I was reading.
Breaking
I was reading.
Bad.
It is pretty fucking ingenious that people will build a meth lab
Like, you
in their
got
car.
Sudafed.
Well, I was
and
gonna
you
say,
made a
like,
drug.
what I was gonna
not
say
good.
is-
Genius isn't always good.
The fucking. I was reading
Some
today.
geniuses cut off the air. Some
Reading
made meth.
today a guy who was saying that it was a pain in the ass that he has to go contest a felony trial because in Colorado Sudafed is so linked to meth that he had some Sudafed in his car and got pulled over and they were like, you're making meth. And he was
so
like,
hard.
No,
and he was like, we're not talking about a gallon. Or, we're not talking about like one of those big
Just a
family
box,
fucks.
yeah.
like
Just
I
talking
have
like
a goal.
But that's how they have to
just
do
like
it. In
had
Indiana,
some Sudafed, and a motherfucker was like, you're going to jail for
My
that. It's like,
family's
that's
sick.
awful.
it's so bad though in
Yeah,
Indiana where they block over the counter sales and they track it. It's been tracked for years in a lot of states because it's just such an epidemic that you can't even. Well, thank you.
You
sir.
should only buy it with chicken noodle soup and ginger ale.
Yeah, that has
Fair.
to be a law.
That should be a law.
Mm.
Like if I'm buying it with
Yeah.
other
Like, you can't buy it with,
Well, that's like
condoms
it was
and-
fascinating.
condoms and
You can't buy Sudafed and condoms.
Oh,
And
it was fascinating to me to like read recently that like there's certain things that the gas station sells, like the convenience store sells, that only people who are like doing illicit, usually crack related things are buying, like the flour in the glass tube.
Mm-hmm.
That's like that people use that for like smoking crack. Nobody buys the flour; they're buying it for the glass tube. But you
Never
can.
even
That's
thought
why
about
they.
that.
That's
Never
why
thought about
those
that.
still exist in the gas station because you're like, who buys this? Crackheads.
That's so smart. I always wondered that. Who the hell is buying
And they
it?
sell like steel wool that's 30 years old. Like it's made an old way.
Oh,
Like they
yeah.
don't make it the same way anymore. Like they make it and they totally safer and everything else. But there's this shitty company that still exists to make it the old way because you can light it on fire and use it to burn crack. And so
crack.
convenience stores will still sell that, and it's one of those like it's like
Convenience
sort of a
stores-
litmus test of like, do you live in the ghetto or not? This is just his interesting.
He's
thing.
about that life. He's about that life, Lulu.
That's just what
wow.
I,
What it is,
different drug
I was
catering.
looking for ratchets.
Yeah, I was looking.
Convenience stores and gas stations, I feel like the ones that are really like out on the highways and shit are like the bastions, the last bastions of the fucking old world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, where like you fucking stop and it really is like, yeah, you could get a glory hole job and like pick up some cassettes and hit the road. No one could know. You could buy some new identity cards and just.
Okay, here we go. This is a crack.com article called 5 Secret Criminal Uses for Stuff They Sell in Gas Stations.
Wow.
Roses in glass tubes.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. And they're saying, like, you remember, you've seen those
Yeah.
little standy
I've
things
gotten
before.
those.
Yeah. And it's just, again, why do you have it with a flared bottom like that?
Yeah,
For
right.
the flour to preserve it.
Yo, that's insane.
Sure.
That's crazy.
Athletic socks. which seems
Athletic
very-
socks.
Let's see.
Crackheads be cold.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Huff and paint.
I love this.
It's paint spray, bro.
Oh, it's for paint. There you go.
yeah,
Shoelaces.
Shoelaces.
For tying off.
yeah.
Smart.
When you think like it's this stuff that, like I was like I have always wondered why they sell this shit at
Right,
gas
like
stations.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not.
How many motherfuckers need shoelaces and
Right?
socks
Like legit,
at a gas station?
Like legitimate customers are
Whipped
not.
cream chargers. That seems obvious.
Whippets.
But I don't really see that. I mean, it's obvious.
No,
that
I don't see
You
what
don't
people-
live in that part of the country, bro.
Shore boy. That's the thing I was talking about. Like it's.
Oh, I know that.
It's because there was it called? Yeah, there you go.
Fee,
See
fee.
there, so you can put a little of that chore boy stuff
We need to talk
in the
about those
glass
nails.
tube with the
Yeah,
crack,
right.
and then
Your
there you
man's
go.
been living.
Why is some dark skin and some light
It
skin?
says it's being able to
That's how the
easily
world
tear it into
works.
pieces that makes it such an attractive options over its more durable counterparts that are made of steel or aluminum. So that's what I'm saying. Is like
stuff
that
for the
steel wool is
crackheads.
like aluminum wool, stuff like that. They don't that you can't rip that with your fingers. But that chore boy stuff is cheap and shitty, and you can rip it with your fingers. So you can
Yeah.
shove it into a glass tube and
I
smell
mean,
crap.
I think that's the thing that kind of fucking amazes me.
I don't know
is-
why we got on this topic.
No,
but
I
there
mean,
you go.
it's good. It's like
Hey, drugs are important, guys.
it's a sense
Good
of
to know
like.
these
Good
things.
to know these
I
things.
think the thing is like it's so
Oh,
weird.
right, because we're talking about math and
It's
suicide.
fucking is like that's why I
This
feel
is a
like the
purple
war on
drink.
drugs is like it was just such a like a double down on being like we don't give a fuck, we just trying to keep all the power basically.
Yeah.
Because they came to your man, they're like, yeah, you can't like marijuana's cool, bro. They
Hey,
can't-
my
like,
theory on them not legalizing weed yet is because I think they're just waiting for like the older people to die. Once the baby boomers like come in as like, hi, we're here, we're 70, I think we're good to go.
essentially once they start demanding their medicinal product to be like, I got all this fucking rheumatoid arthritis,
Yeah.
I can't walk anywhere.
Which is what's happening now.
which
So
is-
I
I mean,
think
it's
that's
a
why
sim-
it's like
yeah.
we can have a national discussion.
Well, I mean, I
about it.
think
Yes,
the
it's
thing
transitioning.
is the part of the problem is why we
legal in
can't
Colorado
end the
Oregon.
war on drugs
Or
like other
Washington.
countries like a Portugal, which decriminalized a lot of
Because
things.
the government would lose money.
Well, it's not necessarily the government can't lose money because in Portugal they don't have the history and the racial dynamics that we necessarily have behind it. Which is if you've got drugs across the board, it's usually more of a class issue, right? It's not necessarily the race issue as prevalent as it is in our society, where the war on drugs was a integral part of Nixon's Southern strategy,
Right.
which was all about just whipping up white resentment. So you cannot divorce the fact that black males are being arrested at such a rate is from a political strategy. And that's the difference between every other country in the world versus here, where it's a sense that Nixon's own team came to him and they were like, yes, you should decriminalize it. And he was like, don't give a fuck, war on drugs. And then Reagan came in and was like, what's that? There's a fucking judge there's a federal judge, Francis Law, I believe was his name, who in the 80s was like, yep, this should definitely be reclassified and rescheduled. Marijuana shouldn't be a Schedule I drug.
But you know what? But the thing is that I think that they'll always readjust to figure out the new strategy. Because the thing is, you have like
What's the new Jim Crow
What's
now?
the-
essentially?
But have you heard about? It's like, for instance, if you heard about Tide, like people locking up Tide in grocery stores and stuff like that in like certain neighborhoods, and it's one of those things where it's like it's perfect for money laundering because it's a durable good that's useful and costs a pretty good chunk of money. So you could buy 20 boxes of Tide and sell it for basically retail price and get all your money back because everybody needs Tide eventually.
Right.
So like there's certain stores that are like locking up Tide. So that's another one of those situations where it's like, oh, if you want to track where the drug money's going, find a grocery store that's always at a Tide.
Tide the laundry detergent. we're
Yes,
talking- okay,
Tide.
make sure I know.
I mean, I
It's
think
one of those things. It's a weird thing that I read about, and I was like, "What are people smoking it now?"
Right.
Like
Yeah,
I didn't
right, right.
understand
Was
why
that-
there was all
I
these
feel like-
places that were like
yeah.
locking up the Tide. Turns out that's why, because it's
yeah.
perfect for money laundering.
I feel like because like to the boomer credit, to the boomer point that you're talking about,
Yeah.
with the drug war, you've got just a shitload of people who would have to be like, yeah, we definitely only did that because we hate black people, essentially. Or we hate brown-skinned people. And that's not happening until they die. And the kids are kind of being like, yeah, our parents were terrible. So, like, do you know, like it's never it's either, like, there's only two ways it really happens. Right. It's either that way or somebody goes Bane and fucking just blows shit up. And then, you know, like a WikiLeaks kind of thing happens. And then they're like, well, shit, now Mexico's a failed state and we can't keep it this way.
I feel like, but even like, yes, incorporating the race aspect, but I think also is just like a generational gap where you're dealing with people who grew up in an era where, like, you know, they outlawed alcohol for a certain amount of time. Right. Do you know what I mean? And so you're dealing with a generation that's already like cell phones, like, you know, like it's just like it's like the idea of weed being legal, like our grandparents will just too.
Well, I think
a black president is already the
Whoa.
fucking
Their
apocalypse.
mind is blown.
I think there's another side of it,
And
which
if
is like
push decriminalizing marijuana, that's how they that's how you they would kill.
There was a senile grandfather who saw Obama's inauguration and said, "They are free." Like, you know, like, it's too much. Like, it's too much to legalize weed. It's too much.
I was thinking like the other side. The other
he
side of it
wanders
is like,
into the living room like, wait a minute.
if you're living in a country where for a majority of your life a thing has been demonized, and then one day they go like, actually no, it's fine.
Right.
That's got to fuck up your world. I was going to bring up another article. I'll just touch on it quickly because there's really no discussion to it. But like the TSA is allowing small knives, but they're still not allowing box cutters, even though all the rules they have about small knives would fit perfectly with a box cutter. Now, I have to feel like the reason they're like, but box cutters are still illegal is because somebody's gonna be like, wait a minute. That's the very thing that you said the terrorists had. Yeah. So it's like if they go, no, we can bring those back. Like those will. I feel
so you've
like
been saying I've been taking off my
feel
shoes
like
all
those,
this time for no fucking reason.
I feel like at some point you're going to be able to bring
dirty.
fucking like M80s on the plane before you be able to bring box. I don't think we're in our lifetime ever going to see a box cutter on a plane.
You would
ever
let
again.
a motherfucker pray to Mecca before you let someone bring box cutters on. Put the carpet in the middle of the aisle. You know what I'm saying? We'll wait to bring out the snacks.
Yo, that would be an awesome
because
sketch.
of the very because of the very reason that somebody's going to be like, no, because that's the very fucking thing. Yeah. So I feel like to some degree, when it comes to repealing any kind of drug laws, is that even somebody in the 80s is like, you guys made a huge fucking deal out of drugs for like a very long fucking
crack
time.
versus cocaine is the best example because we're only now just beginning to readjust the criminal penalties for being caught with crack versus cocaine, even though there's no difference essentially. But it's just that black people,
you have to cook it.
Black people were trafficking crack more than white people. You know, white people were just enjoying cocaine, and it was like 100 to 1 discrepancy in terms of jail sentences.
Yep. Yeah.
And now like we had to fight to get it down to like maybe like 75 or like 60 or something like that, just because it's so easy for us to be like, well, listen, all the boys on Wall Street are enjoying the yayo, so let's just go ahead and make this crack epidemic.
Where is it found?
Right.
Oh, it's in the hood.
Right.
Perfect.
Right. And then you got motherfuckers being like, I know the government gave everybody AIDS, and then this shit is all terrible, son. We can't get nice things.
Oh my God, speaking of AIDS, what's up with the baby and the AIDS?
What baby with AIDS?
They
cured the baby from the AIDS.
Oh yeah. That's
what baby had AIDS and got cured?
They're saying right now
that
you can functionally cure HIV in
if
infants,
you're a baby.
If you're an infant.
So if you got AIDS, become a baby.
Become a baby.
And then you'll be all right.
Get your Benjamin Button on, essentially.
All right. To the point of lax drug policy, or at least pulling it back a little bit, what do you guys think about the proposed law for making California last call 4 a.m. instead of the current 2 a.m.?
It's about time.
About time. I'm from New York. We had 5.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I feel like every time I bring someone out to LA and they find out that last call is almost really 1:30.
1:45.
It's essentially at 1:30 usually they're telling you like wrap that shit up.
At 2 a.m. you got to like drink every drink in sight.
At 2 a.m.
and
half the bar
out.
has already started cleaning.
Yeah.
Some motherfuckers is out. They done clocked out.
1:53, the lights go on. You can see a date.
If you lucky at 1:53 if the lights just came on.
If you want to go out and club in LA, you have to get dressed by 7:45.
Right. And most people in LA don't go out to clubs until 10. So you really have like this weird 2-hour window for like peak club.
And then you have to go through all the like lines and the parking.
It's so terribly done.
Yeah,
it's so
it's
inefficient.
Like LA is the city, whatever. You know, this is the home of Kobe, and you're closing at
Kobe.
1:45. Like, You have to make plans after the club to find out what to do.
Well, and that's kind of how LA functions. Everyone goes back to these fucking mansion parties and stuff or whatever. That's how everyone gets DUIs. It's
Right.
almost to the city's
driving
economic
city.
benefit
Yeah.
to just fucking like let people like, yo, just let them hang out for a couple hours longer.
I've always theorized that you would have fewer instances of like drinking, like drunk in public or drinking and driving, especially if you had either a later last call or no last call, just based on the theory that at least, you know, how many times have you been in a bar and like 1:30 hits and everybody's just, oh, quick. Like, I'm just going to take a
But
bunch
it's not even like a 1:30. I feel like this is the even bigger part is because you know that you're up against that 1:30 threshold
Right.
and all the things that we describe. The pre-gaming in this
Oh
city
my God.
is not
Yeah.
even it's not even
Yeah.
pre-gaming it. It's just flagrant substance abuse.
I have never passed out in my entire life, right?
oh, this
But
is
I
gonna be
moved.
amazing.
I moved to LA, and like within my first month here, I went to a club, but I pre-gamed hard, like really hard.
What time did you start? You don't
Like,
even know.
No, I don't remember. But I know I got to the club and I walked in and I danced, and that's all I remember. And I woke up in my bed
Well, that's good. Alone?
Good friends.
with my homeboy.
All right.
But
well.
nothing happened. He like took care of me, drove me home. He's like,
Were you sore? Are you sure nothing
I
happened?
was only sore
First
because,
off, he was
number
gay.
one,
Only thing was sore was my
Again,
heels
was
was
your
getting
ass
that
sore?
I
dance.
have like certain flashbacks of like me laying on the sidewalk. They called the ambulance for me. I passed out. I was cursing out security guards. I threw up in the club on myself. Don't remember none of this, and it's all because I pre-gamed really hard.
Right, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I was trying to get in the club.
How
and
long
have
have
a
you
good
been
time.
out here?
A year.
Okay, you're fresh out. Yeah, that's yeah.
I'm not used to doing that.
It's so weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Right,
here's
right.
the thing where it's like you know, especially like I have friends from college who will come out here, and I went to college, small liberal arts school in Greencastle, Indiana. So it's just like a small town kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
You're going to need to say that again.
It's Greencastle, Indiana. So.
Fucking thing sucks.
All right.
And so when they come out here, like, you know, like kind of like we were talking about before, like small towns and the rural divide versus the city or whatever, the town versus the city. Like in the town, like glass call isn't a thing. You just drink.
Yeah.
Because you know the person who runs the bar. Even if they close it down, you're still drinking. We don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And so like people come out here and like you would wild out until 5 in the morning in Greencastle, and then I'm like, okay, listen, so like we need to go out to the bars by 10 because we gotta be
I
done.
know.
And they look at you like you're stupid.
Yeah.
And then they're like, and it's so weird because like LA has this fucking amazing reputation in people's minds, and then you get
And then
here,
it's not. It's not like that.
I was so
It's not like
disappointed.
It is.
Yeah, dude.
I was so
At like
disappointed.
Nightlife
at
is-
2:30, Hollywood Boulevard, right out here, is a fucking ghost town. You
It
can stand in the
is.
middle of the street
And
for
it
like an
makes
hour
no
and
sense.
not
Like,
see a car.
how did it take? Like, really, we have to even fucking debate extending the last call? Are you kidding me? Even from like the business sense, I'm depressed that y'all took this long.
At 3
To
o'clock
get your
in
money
the-
right.
Three
Yeah, well,
o'clock
that's
in the
what
morning,
that's
New
that's
York
of
is
course how
popping.
that's how they're phrasing it now. Is like, listen, businesses,
I
you
hope
could
they're
get an
saying,
extra
I hope
2
they're saying,
hours.
get your money right. Just bring in Yeezy to be like, LA, get your money right here.
I just hate that it's not more like accessible by public transportation. Like
Well,
we're
first
so
of all-
old on that. Like, cause I did my childhood, like I said, in San Francisco. I'm
Yeah.
a latchkey kid where you went to school, you got on the bus,
You
I
did
mean,
the
you
BART
know,
system, right?
Yeah, BART, but Muni and stuff. You know what I mean?
Right,
like
right,
the buses and the trains, like within the city. You know. And it's just like you can't even attempt to do that here. That changes the whole
Well,
thing.
LA, I think part of the thing is like you know we had plenty of episodes when we were first starting out, and I would be taking the bus over here, and you know there was like because I have to go down Hollywood to get here. There'd be times there was an episode where I was late, and there's a screening going on at Man's Chinese Theater, and I was just stuck in traffic on the bus, and motherfuckers would just start booing the bus. They would boo us because we were blocking the movie screening. And I was so hot. You know what I mean? Because, like, if I put us on a flatbed truck and I let you see who you were booing, you would just be booing the working poor, single mothers, you know what I mean? Immigrants, disabled people, the elderly. You know what I mean? Like,
you
would
think
feel...
those are the people they don't want to boo?
That's going on the board. That's going on the board. That's
Like what?
so sad.
That's exactly who they want to boo.
Of course. They're like, oh, good, we can see you now. Boo! I throw things at you. But it was, like, so frustrating because it's like, of course you don't invest in public transportation. That's who takes the bus out here. So, like, they don't matter at all. So, yeah, like, you could, like, as a city, you could build the best party town in the world. Do you know what I'm saying? But you don't care enough to do it. The last
Open
time...
up the gambling and turn off last call, and we'll be
We'll be in business.
And put something real cool right next to my apartment, and I will never leave.
Yeah.
I will pay all the tax
Mitch will
money.
be the mascot for LA from now on.
Shit, yeah. We need to. Look, that's why you go to Vegas. You're just like, look, it's fucking awesome to walk out and see the sun and be like, I'm going back in for more drinks.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
and,
Is that
and
how-
you can,
I feel like that's exactly
you
how
can
he
walk
says it, too.
along the sidewalk with a cup filled with alcohol, and
The open
nobody's gonna
container
give you
laws are
shit.
the best.
I think
Oh,
that's why like
I've done. You could do that in a car as long
Yeah,
as
you
you're
can.
not driving, holding the drink.
Yeah.
You can.
If LA,
That's my
if
favorite
LA
thing in the
ever
world.
got to the
I
place where they
literally-
had open
Hold
container
on, I
laws.
wanna real quick. The first time I went to Vegas, I was driving with a friend of mine who lives there, and we were all driving and like holding cups and stuff like this. And a cop was like driving past, and she goes, "Here, hold my cup." I was like. She goes, "No, that's fine." I was like, "Shouldn't I hold all the? Shouldn't I put them under my?" She's like, "No, just hold my cup." And I was like, "Oh, all right." Like it's
That's what
that,
Vegas is
it's
such
that
a
lax.
Vegas is such
I
a
just don't even
Where
get
we
it.
at,
surreal
Vegas?
place. It's not a real place. That's why
it's
like
not a real place.
when I
Adult
It's a
playground.
wonder- it's a
it is a
wonder
wonder. Like the thing that like the first time that I really fucking like to your point that you're making with the open container laws, and I just like really was just walking around drinking. And I was just like, this is the fucking, like, this is it. Like, it made you, I felt like so, like, in touch with raw, primal human civilization. Do you know what I mean? Like a dude just, like, walking around the Aztec Empire just being like, yeah, baby, we did it. We done conquered everybody. We're just hanging out, drinking, gonna watch a sporting match
Yeah.
if someone gets decapitated later. Shit
It's
is awesome right
silly.
now.
I was, over the weekend, I was at a fucking beer and wine bar, which means I'm drinking water. And across the street is like one of those
All
raucous
the things
fucking,
you hate.
like college bars. And I was like, I don't want to hang out there. What I really want to do is run across the street, get a gin and tonic, and come back to the casual wine and beer bar where, we can have a conversation. But I want to be drinking something that's not wine or beer.
Yeah.
But I can't. Like, like when you're looking at that freedom, like, 100 feet away, and you're going like, it's ridiculous that it would be illegal for me to go over there and grab a drink, come over here and drink it.
Right.
I could do that with the Starbucks that was next door. But
Some
not
people,
with the
some
damn
people are
gin and
going to
tonic.
abuse it, and that's why we
Ridiculous.
have, law enforcement officers who hopefully.
Well, but
upset
I
citizens.
think that's what causes abuse. Because, like, frankly, I would have just grabbed a bottle of gin and like hid it under my shirt
You
if I'd have known.
are why we cannot have nice things. So appreciate
I am
you.
the reason why you give me nice things, so I don't do shit like that. All right. This is
you can't hold nice things hostage, Mitch.
We've had discussions on the show many times about the about social networks and how people don't realize the repercussions of things they say online.
Yeah.
British boxer Curtis Woodhouse was the target of an online Twitter abuse where a guy basically was like, "You fight like a pussy." And so Curtis
Ouch.
Woodhouse was like, "All right, I'm going to come over and you can say that to my face."
First of all, before you go on, let's just say that the picture they used of your man makes him look like a dude who would clearly beat up anybody who
Oh,
talks
yeah.
shit to him on the internet.
He looks very insecure.
His face has been pummeled. I think insecure is a different word for pummeled.
His daddy.
It's a different word.
His daddy left
So
him.
the user, his name's
Your man's got the saddest eyes I've ever
His
seen.
daddy
Right now.
left him. His
the
daddy
guy
left
the
him.
guy who tweeted him.
My father wasn't there for me.
Exactly. He's that guy.
Jimmy OB 88. We'll just call him Jimmy. So Jimmy said to Curtis, "What you gonna do? Knock me out like your last opponent? Oops." So then Curtis tweeted out the name and his address because he was able to hit up his friends and go like, "Hey, give me the address of your buddy. He's talking shit." And then
Yo,
Jimmy
your
wrote,
man's
"Chill out, pal.
ratted
I
him.
was only doing it so you would bite back. It's only a bit of harmless fun." The
ain't
boxer
harmless.
said,
It's not
"I'm
harmless
on my
looking at
way to
man's
Sheffield
eyes."
to have a little chat with an old friend, get the kettle on." And then he showed pictures outside of his house, like standing in front of his front lawn,
Oh
like,
my gosh.
"Hey, I'm here," and tweeted those. And that Jimmy guy said, "I was only joking. I didn't think you were bothered. I'm so sorry. This is getting out
That
of
is
hand."
so psycho.
He like went up to his house, knocked on his door, was tweeting while he was knocking, like, "Hey, I'm here. Anytime
I'm
you
knocking
want."
on this motherfucker's door, ready to kick his ass. Open it up at Jimmy OB88.
Yeah, I mean, okay, but is this so? This guy is obviously not winning his fights. Is that what's going on?
So he
I'm not
has-
going to say that. I'm not going to say that.
Because he's not practicing.
He's not.
He's not.
He's tweeting.
practicing.
I mean,
he should have been
if you
jumping
wanna-
rope.
If you want to talk shit about the guy who
Wait.
will show up to your house,
Wait.
you're
Can we
be my
just-
guest.
can we
but
maybe have-
These are questions.
The
These
views
are
and
have
questions.
opinions
Reyna?
expressed by Reyna right now do not reflect the views
I need
and
Reyna
opinions
to
of the
be
show
a
or my
UK
apartment.
fight promoter right now, where she's like, "Okay, so wait a minute, let me get this straight. I set up a fucking deal for you, so you can go ahead, build your credentials up, you waste all your sparring time going on Twitter talking shit to motherfuckers who don't got nothing to do with your
Driving to
trainer.
their house.
You can't even fight them because they smart enough to not open their door and let you commit a fucking crime, which
Hey.
would make me lose money. So why am I invested in your broke ass
This is
again?
literally the exact same thing that just happened, and you're like, "Well, let me talk some shit about this guy who
It
will
just
show
looks
up
like
to
he
people's
needs
houses."
allowed.
Right?
And this is ratchet. That is a ratchet
That is ratchet.
reaction. A ratchet reaction.
That is a very ratchet reaction.
That's fair. To
I
bring the
feel
riff
like-
all together.
I feel like
Luke.
Yeah,
if
man. And that's what happens when Ratchet shows up on your doorstep. It's all fun and games to talk about being with a Ratchet
Yeah.
until the Ratchet shows up outside of your domicile and you're like, wait a minute.
You're not about that life.
Yeah.
now I feel like he probably wasn't going to do anything. He probably knew the guy would back down.
I don't know.
But it
He's
does
crazy
have
enough to show up to
Yo,
his
son,
house.
your man would have murdered that
But hold
dude.
on.
Yeah.
How awesome would it be to be Curtis in that situation where like you could literally drive to this guy's house and be like, all right, I'm a big pussy. I can't fight. And like just knock on his door just to scare him, just to show up and do it. That would be kind of a neat thing.
What, are you trying
However,
to
if
build
I
up
was
a
on the
Twitter
other
crowd?
side of it, I
Yeah,
would have
no
answered
doubt.
the door. I'd have been like, come in, let's have a chat, have
You
a
wouldn't.
podcast.
You would not. First of
of
all,
all.
because that man would have murdered you, son.
No, you answer the
He-
phone with a live camera.
That man does not
Which I
give a
got.
fuck about committing
He
murder on
drove
camera.
to
He's a
your
professional
house.
boxer. All he does
drove to your
is his
house.
job is to
Live
murder
camera.
people
I'm
on
good.
film.
I'll be like, all right, let's
That's
open
what
the
he
door.
does,
Hi.
Mitch.
But I also don't talk shit to people on Twitter.
And
I mean,
that's why you
Or
wouldn't open that door.
boxers.
That's why you wouldn't open
Or
that
a
door.
boxer.
Yeah.
Don't talk. Boxers are off. Too many hits in the head.
Look,
you
first
can't
of all,
trust them.
first of
true.
all,
It's true.
Mitch, you know me very well.
They
I'm
don't
not
trust
gonna talk
themselves.
shit to a motherfucker who has parts of his body registered with the state
Yeah. Okay.
as a lethal weapon. Okay,
Yeah.
That's my life. Okay, that's how I live.
Those are my choices.
That's how I survive as a black man in America. Walk it and walk it off.
Now walk it out.
Now walk it
Now
out.
put a chicken noodle soup with a ginger ale on the side. Shit, I am real brown. Oh my god.
Anyway, yeah. So then he just tweeted like, "Well, I'm going back home."
Your man
You
didn't
know,
open the
that's
door,
it.
right?
No, he didn't.
Oh my god.
my
son.
man, don't make him my man.
Yeah, that's your man, son.
That's
I have
your
no,
man.
I have
Yo,
no
first of
affiliation
all,
with Jimmy.
You just said
That doesn't have to necessarily mean that is your man particular, like you know him or you.
No, I know, I've
Yo,
always
that's
been-
your man. Mitch,
like
is-
I've been bothered by the your man, this man. You know,
Mitch
I've
hates.
always-
Mitch hates when I'm like, yo, that's your man right there, and he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's not my
Yeah.
man, but that is his man in
That's
this
you.
scenario.
That's your man.
I
Yo,
mean, no,
yo.
I was not defending him at all.
You
I was,
brought him up,
I
that's
was
your
merely
mans.
no.
right
I was,
in the streets. That's your man.
That's
son.
your man.
That's
son.
your man.
The
son.
fact that you even brought him up in the streets mean that's your man.
Yo, son,
When I used to
yo, that's
run
my
an
man to
internet
them,
TV
son.
show a few years ago, I used to run an internet TV show, and like we used to have the I am thing. We have it here as well, but there it was like up on a separate screen, so we could like switch to it. And the amount of people who would like type into that thing, like "It's your girl, Stacy," you know, or something like that, and I'd be like,
It's your
"Listen."
boy Trayvon right
Yeah,
here.
and I'd be like, "Listen, you're not my girl, all right? I've never met you, and you're just typing into it. No, I'm not.
That is-
You're not. It's
she's your girl, son.
like how confident are
Hilarious.
you? You know what I mean?
no, but that's the
I've
beauty.
never liked
That's
that.
how it works, son. That's how your man works.
Although
right
I will
there, son.
say, I do think it's amusing when like on those clip shows where they show a clip and then they'll go to the one of the commentators. It'll be a black guy and be like, "My man's out there. Look at him." You know, and it's like it's kind of neat that you're like, "Oh, you're on his side." So that's funny. But
it's not an on his side kind
Don't
of thing.
attach
It
it.
doesn't
No, but what I'm
necessarily
saying is, don't attach somebody to me.
Here's my sense. Here's
I get to do
Here's
that.
my,
I can
no,
be like,
no, 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 no.
So
You
my
don't get,
man
you don't get to
said,
do it. You don't get to
you
do
know,
it. You don't get to do it.
just
son.
don't call
the
him my man.
obligations are bigger than the both of y'all. Do you understand me? Okay.
The
so
what?
I'm doing
The obligations?
The obligations, son.
Okay.
Okay. So listen, you and your man's over there, plural, son, plural. Because once you invoke him, I know you got. I know plenty of other dudes just like him, son. I could build a whole army behind you, son. Whole
Of
shadow
Jimmy's
army.
or of Curtis's?
Yeah, both of them, son. You and your man's in them, son.
Whoever you roll with is considered your man's.
All right, I would not roll with these guys.
You would though, son. You
First
would.
off, they're way over in the UK. I mean,
You would, son.
quite a ways to be
Son,
rolling.
if I can construct,
I
no,
roll
I
in a
know
national
situation-
deep.
No long distance bro relationships.
Son, I could
I
tap.
FaceTime him, keep him on my iPhone. Hey man, I'm rolling digital deep up here.
That's how it
What's
is,
going
son.
on?
That's how it is.
Screenshot it.
That's
International
one of my
digital
favorite
deep.
things. Like I don't like to go to fucking hood situations and clubs or whatever. But like when shit pops off and you can like tell that's how you could tell the streets is really like listen. No one in the streets really wants to fight. Okay, but like they're like I'll kill anybody if I have to because it's what usually happens is the first wave is someone being like yo listen, get your man,
You get your man's.
get your man, tell your man to just reel it in. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, listen, I don't even know if you know that dude, okay? But now I'm putting the obligation on you that you are responsible for all the bloodshed that's about to happen. Because it's going to come. Do you understand what I'm saying? A storm is coming, Mr. Wayne. So get your man and tell that motherfucker all the bridges is about to blow up. Unless you get your shit together. That's what I'm trying to tell you right now. Okay? Now let me drink this Hennessy. And you and your mans in them.
Take control of your man. Take control of your homies.
Listen,
your crew.
Listen, even if I was drinking a Bud Light at that moment, it becomes a Hennessy.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Anything a black man is drinking becomes
good-
Hennessy.
Once I get in that zone, you know what I'm saying, I could be drinking ginger ale all day, okay? But it's yak.
Brown
Yeah.
words to live by.
Yeah.
Or a Zima. Would you drink a Zima and call the Henny?
They still make that?
I have some self-respect, Lulu. I have some self-respect.
What is? I don't even know what
You
Zima
never had
is.
a Zima?
No.
It's like
You don't have a
It
Zima?
sounds like
Something
it
different,
sounds like
I'll tell you
a,
that.
Like a I don't
like
know,
an-
organic
Did
lotion
Zima
or
miss
something.
Oakland?
It was like a clear. Okay,
Did
you
it
know, like
ever-
Smirnoff Ice and shit.
that is a possibility.
The shipment never made it to Oakland.
Yeah, right?
Wait,
there was
wait, you
one
remember, like,
Zima
Smirnoff
shipment for
Ice?
Oakland.
Yeah.
They hijacked that shit somewhere out of Bakersfield. They were like,
Smirnoff.
no.
When I can hear again,
It's
I'll
a
tell you.
non-alcoholic
It's like
beverage.
Smirnoff Ice, but it's the precursor. It's why there became things like Mike's Hard Lemonade and Smirnoff
Ooh.
Ice is because
Okay.
Zima was like this in between beer and malt liquor, this clear. It was the first thing I ever got drunk on.
Okay.
I've had a Zima.
I apologize, Bay
It's
Area, if it
delicious.
did reach
It
there, and I
wasn't
just
too.
don't know
It wasn't
about
too
it.
shabby, but I
yeah.
would never like. I've tried it recently, and I'm like, oh.
I feel like if there is one spot on the map, though, that wouldn't know Zima, it would be Oakland.
They
like,
might
if you
know.
try to make an Oakland joke in Zima, they'd be like, the fuck is you talking about?
No, they
there's your
might know.
Frisco. There's a Frisco. If you go to Oakland and order a Zima, you're definitely not from Oakland.
No.
Someone just walks by and just like stabs you in the kidney just as like a favor. You know what I mean? Just like a real quiet, like
Call the
catches
cops,
you.
and they're like, "What provoked him?" Well, I was ordering a Zima, and they kick you in the face.
It's like, oh, it's
Like,
70.
oh,
It's
shit.
73. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
It's not that bad.
Don't you dare.
Just kidding. Yes, it is.
All right. Speaking also on somebody on a social network, this guy is kind of my hero because this. Don't call him a man per se, but I'm amused because this is a guy who has nothing to hide. Like his level of shame, he's like, you know what? I'm just putting it out there. This is a real thing that
Dennis
happened to me.
Rodman?
Fuck y'all. This guy live tweeted going to the hospital
effort,
after
though. Good
getting
effort.
a vibrator stuck up his ass. And so he live tweeted and the X-ray photos.
Wow.
He live tweeted the trip to the hospital, what the doctors said while he
First
sat
of
in the
all,
doctor's office.
let's just take a moment to say that
That's gotta hurt.
the X-ray that is on the screen right now, Riffopolis, is that is deep in the anal orifice.
That's in the hips.
That looks like it's right next to a vertebrae. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
deep. If he had a uterus, it would have been like through it. I
Yeah,
feel like.
yeah.
Like if he was playing Tetris, that's like the long piece that fits perfectly.
So his
I'm
first
never gonna play
tweet
Tetris
started.
again.
His
Thank
tweet
you.
started off with,
Right
"I
now.
looked the woman at the ER desk dead in the eye and said, there's no other way to put this. I have a vibrating dildo inside my ass.'"
Was it vibrating at
Yeah.
the time?
You can
And he
look
was
at you
walking-
can see
This
the
is-
movement
this is-
in the X-ray.
This is
Bottom.
interesting.
How did he get there? Did he?
I like
stand
how
on?
Reyna just went CSI on everybody right now.
You can
She's like,
see the movement in the asshole.
Wait. Here's the thing. What's
the only
interesting?
person who's like, yeah, but look at the vibration.
Some highlight tweets include, by the way, he was showing yes, I actually did go. Here's a CD of the X-ray that they sent me. But here's some of the tweets.
Thumbs up, I'm
It's
good. What is
interesting.
that?
How long does this battery last? Jesus, the thing is still going. The
Wow.
next tweet was, "Hey, Energizer." With an @Energizer
Yo.
to the corporate
Yo,
Twitter
yeah.
profile.
With a yo.
How long do your batteries
Yo,
last? And
yo.
vibrating dildos, just so I have an estimate if it will still be going when I get to the ER.
Wow.
Hilarious.
It's like very. So I mean, he had a sense of humor about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
hurt
only-
like a bitch, I'm
there's-
sure.
there's only
By
a
the
couple
way, let
ways
me
that
just
you
tell the
can-
people at home, kids at home, if you're sticking things up your ass, always make sure that it has a flared bottom so that you have a way to extract it. Too many people get rectal injuries by not
He's a G.
Yeah.
keeping this
The pull cord. You gotta
How
important.
did he
Important.
get there? Did he sit down?
Yeah,
to
same
get
thing.
there?
Anal beads, they have a ring
Pull
at the
cord.
end.
Yeah,
You know,
you
and
need
then
that.
you're good to go.
This has been
You
brought
get
to
too
you
into
by
it.
the Straight Riffin campaign for more educated anal play.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important to be safe.
You
Nobody
get
wants
too
to have
into
to go
it
to the
and
AR
you get
as he
crazy.
did and
Don't
stare a
let
woman
your
in the eye and
pleasure-
say, "There's no other way to put this, but there's a vibrating dildo."
Listen,
How do
First
you
of all,
think he was
stuck in my
walking?
ass.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
How
How did
was
he
he
get
walking?
there? Did he sit down and drive? Did he get driven? Did he lay on his stomach? Did he
think
order
he-
a limo so he could just lay
Apparently, he was
down?
laughing his
Like-
ass off. He was literally said, where is it?
Yeah, but there's no way he could sit down.
I'm actually laughing so hard that this is happening right now, but thank you. To someone was like, "Are you serious? You okay?" So he clearly was like, and I mean, it's not a big. It's just
Which
I
I feel
can't
like,
get it out.
you know, listen, I feel like that's the same giddy,
if you get
happy-go-lucky
it,
nature
if you
that
get it
ended
all the
up.
way up in there, that's not the first time.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. I mean,
First time you do something, you don't just go whole hog. You
Well,
gotta
I mean,
Maybe he said YOLO.
Yeah.
You know.
lube it up in YOLO, kids. That's
I really
if there's
do
anything
not
you
want to
can.
imagine a dude being like YOLO, and then like bow, son, just like right in, like he just puts all the lube on it, and he's like YOLO, baby, this is it.
Again, I like this guy. He's got nothing to hide. He's very honest. He's making jokes. This is all right. This is my kind of.
If he had that
He's
poo,
my man.
if he had that poo profession, he'd have been out of work for at least like a
if
couple
he's,
days.
well, if he was a scat
That's
professional,
I love that you call it. The
if he
poop
was a scat
You
professional,
you know, like some kind of scat artist or something. Scat professional.
I wonder if he would have been able to shit it out. Why he didn't just like to pressure?
Oh, it's up there and it's vibrating. It's a monster.
Oh,
yeah, that ain't coming back out.
Again,
That was vibrating.
Reyna Amaya, CSI professional.
Yeah, it's a
The other-
monster.
You are. She's like, she
Here's
got the
the- here's the
glasses adjusted
difficult-
right now. She's like, I can tell you all about the case files.
The reason you use a flared thing
One angle
is
to the left, and he
because,
would have been dead.
you know, so like once
One
it goes
inch.
in there, right? Let's say the cap is all the way in, your butthole is going to close up again. So you're going to have to get outside that inner rim or outer rim, as it were.
He has the
And
dildo turtle head.
no amount of pushing is going to make
Dildo
that
turtle head.
expand beyond what it's supposed to because it doesn't know what's coming yet. So
it closes
needs
up
to,
on
like-
itself on either end.
Yeah,
And it's just in there
So
in
you're
the
just
middle.
fucked.
You know what it is? It's kind of like a Chinese finger trap.
Yes,
You know
that's
I mean?
exactly what it
It's
is.
like, and he's like, oh no, no.
That's exactly what it is.
I mean, your best bet would be to
You hear how-
like then
do you hear how
use like
cold her
fingers
voice
to
is?
pull it out. But
Yes,
even
yes,
then,
yes,
they always they say doctors will tell you if you get anything stuck in your ass, do not try to extract
Don't
it
panic.
yourself. Go to the ER and say, listen,
Reyna has
I've got this thing in
absolutely
my butt.
no emotion about anything we're discussing right now.
Yeah.
She's
No.
so clinical.
Yeah, I am.
That's good.
I'm concerned, because I
with
just
you.
there
I
could
just
be
wanna-
someone listening with a dildo currently in their ass. and
That's
they
what
need
I'm.
advice.
Thank you.
I
I'm on the
just,
same page.
keep
Up
it
top.
safe, guys.
Me and Reyna are doing the responsible.
I'm gonna
thing.
try it. I don't know.
He's getting it
Again, flared. You want to make sure it's got a flare. If you get the vibrator with the balls.
Something.
He's getting an internal massage. Like that is just like the ultimate vibe.
And I kept thinking about, technically, if it were to continue north, it would just go into his intestines. That could get really dangerous.
Yeah.
If it was really, yeah.
Does make you wonder how
I feel like I've
react
stumbled
to being,
onto
like,
an episode
vibrated
of
like that.
Hawthorne
Yeah.
RN where she's
Like,
she's
how
just
far
like,
does the shockwave go?
I don't know.
I mean, if you
that
agitate your
monster out
internal
of him.
intestines, would they make it easier to
And-
pass after that? You
and
know,
at what
'Cause
point-
you've agitated them.
Yeah.
Right.
This
At
is
what
like a
point does it
bad
get,
episode
like,
of House right now.
breaking
You
down?
really are treating this like an episode of House. The way that you
Well,
are,
there's
like, I can
nothing-
see
there's
in your
nothing
eyes, you are
particularly-
no longer in this studio anymore. You are in a ICU, just looking at X-rays
Yeah.
and trying to put together the geometry of how it happened.
No, see, this is the thing, though. I'm on Reyna's side because there's nothing
course you are.
particularly. Well, there's nothing.
That's your man.
What I'm saying is there's nothing particularly rare or odd about this, except that the guy live tweeted it.
Right.
People shove things in their ass all the time,
the time.
especially in
First of
vibrators.
all,
As
that's
vibrators,
still pretty fucking odd for the 21st century. That's
I
it.
mean,
Second
whatever.
of all,
Well,
of
no,
course,
it's not.
it is, bro.
No, it's not.
Well, of course,
don't think
yo,
so.
Yo, you and your man's probably be live tweeting that shit all the time.
All
son.
I'm saying is, if you look,
1 out of
sticking
5
a
people
vibrating,
have something in their ass right now. That's all I know.
Really? You think that it's like
Yeah.
that?
1 out
I
of
would say 1 out of 7. I wouldn't say 1 out of 5.
right now or have
not about
at
that
some
life,
point.
that's why.
In their life,
not
I would
YOLO
go.
on
You're
shit.
not-
I would
you're
say
not-
I would
yeah.
say 1 out of 7 in their life, sure, but right now, oh, probably not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Somebody right now, definitely.
I don't know what circles
somebody.
you guys hang out in, but
She's like, listen, I've only done
I'm
a
merely
very
saying,
superficial level demographic
When you're
analysis
going to discuss
of your
something that
show.
happens it's very common for people to put things in their ass, especially vibrating dildos.
We'll split
That's-
the bill and
in
say
a,
1
in
out
a
of
sense,
6.
that's almost what they're for. Especially if you're a guy and you bought a vibrating dildo, there's only one thing you're going to do with it, and it's shove it up your ass. So that's very common. So while we're discussing this and the hilarity of the live tweet, I just think the guy's cool for doing that.
super cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I
definitely-
think that
Shout out to
it
him. What's his
behooves
Twitter?
us.
What's his Twitter? He's awesome.
At GRAWLY.
Grawley.
Grawley.
Hey.
If we're going to
Televised
have this
snow
discussion,
gang.
it
That
behooves
sounds-
us on behalf of responsible people who like things in their ass to say, hey, take care of it. Be careful.
I like
and
it.
go to the ER if anything gets stuck. But more importantly, flared base and hang on to the motherfucker. Tie a string around it.
You need
if
to
you
feel
have
have
a
to.
coalition.
Garly sounds like the
important.
condition of someone who likes to put
Grawly.
things up their
Yeah,
ass.
right.
Grawly.
Yeah,
It's like
You seem like one of the
Someone from
Grawly
Grawly.
types.
I'm sure
Do
he's got
you
a bunch
feel-
of
Girl, it
extra
was good,
followers
but he
now.
was a Grawly.
Right? Oh my god. That
Best
is
part, he didn't
too
delete any of those
disturbing,
tweets.
actually.
That's the other thing.
That was like some real like hair shop shit that y'all just dropped right now. We need to step it out right now. We need to step it out. That was too well played. It was too well played. What
Yeah,
the-
I think he's still getting.
Yeah,
a lot
you
of people
have-
still.
Of course, bro. This is
So he's
one of
got to
them-
reply.
This is not
That's
going to go
good.
away. I'm sure his interest in it isn't going to go away. He's not going to be deterred by
Yeah.
this. He's just going to be smarter about his YOLO.
He should get like one of those jackass shows where he just sticks random things up his ass and see how long it takes
Don't
for
get it,
him to
man.
need to go to the
Don't get
hospital.
it, man.
Too much?
I don't get it.
I'd watch it.
Anything. I mean, literally anything.
Of course
that-
you would.
Motivation.
Of course you would. That's how you build all your fucking case files. That's how you're
Exactly.
gonna go through
No,
med
that's
school.
That's the problem. Is like anything you
Yeah.
put in there,
You're
you're
regular
not
Grey's
going to be able to
Anatomy
get it
over
back
here.
out again. You're gonna need medical help to get it back out.
And that's why he's gonna have a chief of
I mean,
staff,
that's just a
Reyna,
factoid.
who is
Depending
go-
on what it is, because I've seen a video of a girl who had who had golf balls,
In her
like
ass?
5 of them. Yeah.
Well, okay,
And they
but that's
just
I
plop,
think
plop,
in that
plop,
case,
plop, plop,
yeah,
plop,
because
plop.
Wait,
it's
did
a
she
nice
force him
smooth.
out, or
It's
like-
smooth, yeah, it's smooth round.
Yeah, it was a smooth, nice
Yeah.
exit.
I think generally speaking, though, if it can
Ping
go
pong balls. I
oblong,
apologize.
Ping pong balls as well.
You know,
I've seen the
I'm
golf
really-
balls thing.
I'm
I know
really-
it's
Yeah, yeah.
I
there's golf
saw a
balls.
video of a girl playing golf that way, where
then
she
it
would
went-
she would putt it, and then it would end up in the girl's. Her ass was the hole that she was supposed to be putting into.
Oh, I thought she dropped it out of her butt and then hit it.
I'm so disoriented by
into
it.
then
somebody
she-
else's butt.
No,
Probably.
but that would be
That
awesome.
would be pretty
I
good.
feel like
Yeah.
I only recently saw a
Gosh.
couple.
We're
I
just
only
giving these ideas
Yeah.
out.
I've only
I know.
recently seen a few clips of Lawrence Fishburne on CSI, but right now you are channeling your
Yeah.
man very well.
Yeah.
With your I apologize, ping pong balls.
I've seen Lawrence Fishburne before one time.
Yeah?
In Boston, yeah. At a
guys-
7-Eleven.
Yeah, that's where.
Yeah.
Of course he was. Lawrence Fishburne
Yeah.
is about that life.
Oh, no,
is.
he is.
He is
is.
Morpheus.
He is.
He
No,
is
because
more-
he was very
I will
undercover.
take a sausage roll.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Why do you sell flowers in glass tubes?
I'll take 5.
I'll take it.
Can
Not
you,
saying that he does that. I'm
Can you
just-
tell me why your brand store chips are so tasty?
I like it.
Where are your vegetarian options in the microwavable foods?
Can you put more syrup in the slushy machine? Lawrence definitely seems like he would be the kind of 7-Eleven dude. Your man would be like, yo, I'm about to make it rain in this bitch. The next 7 customers get all of the free tacos they want.
He has less of a neck than I thought. Yeah. Less of a neck than I thought.
Really?
That is a
jeez.
fascinating observation.
Yeah.
God, you are so
That's a
fucking
sentence.
clinical around people.
I am.
The longer
I like
the
it.
show goes on, the more you are just like a Jane Goodall. It's just like out in the wild, being
fascinated.
like Lawrence Fishburne, no neck.
Well, I feel like my parents.
Why
everybody
is it
were
gotta be
very-
Jane Goodall?
I love
Why you
Jane
gotta bring apes into this? All right, sorry.
racist?
Yeah, let me
I
get
feel like-
indignant for a change.
Hold on a second, motherfuckers. Wait a minute, the game has changed. I hate this. Game over. I'm sorry, you're saying.
Clinical.
Crucify him.
No, I was gonna say I feel like I grew up like, you know, my parents were very accepting of things, but like my grandmother was very judgmental about anything physical about anybody. So like
yeah,
she
I had one of
pointed
them
out, you know what I
grandmas.
mean? She'd be like,
Sure.
something's wrong with their eyes. Do you see
Yeah.
that? You know what I mean? So I feel like I pick at people. I look at things and I, you know what I mean? And I just you know, and
Bring
not
it
so
on.
much
Yeah.
not so much as a judgment, but I see it. I saw this guy the other day with a huge unibrow, and all I could think was like the girl he was with. I was like, wow, you really like him because it's awful.
Yeah. That's
Like,
Or-
you know,
or
like
that's
she's-
real love.
It was like,
Or
yo,
she's
you
one of
must really
those-
care about this
you
dude.
really, you're down.
You like him for him.
I would
It's
suggest-
really
His
not
hand,
for
yeah,
love.
I would
You're
suggest
like, I
probably
bet
not.
that, no.
No, because here's the thing. I think that women, it's safer. It's much safer for a woman to be like, let's pluck that middle. Let's pluck that unibrow. Let's take
No,
care of
son.
that.
She didn't have
No.
that talk with him yet.
No.
'cause
That's
it
what I'm
was
saying.
full
So
on.
No,
how
that is
that's
not
what I'm
an
saying,
easy
like,
talk, bro.
How much could she care if she doesn't even mention it?
But does a guy feel like he's being a little too into what he looks like if he decides to get rid of it? You know what I mean? Because you might suggest
Your
that
man
he's
has
like,
lived
whoa.
a long time with the unibrow.
I'm a
B.
dude, like,
Well,
Well,
he's
if
navigated a lot
your
of
woman,
waters.
If your woman says, "Hey, let's just try this," because it grows back. It grows back. Like I have a very minor one, and I'll pluck it every now and again.
Here's the thing,
but
though.
I'm saying that if a woman was like, let's just, because a lot of things I've done to my body over the years have been like a woman going, let's just like the shaving the crotch area.
Unibrows
I was like 18 years old, and a girl was like,
unibrows are a unique beast because if a woman is going to fuck with a man, she's not going to tolerate a unibrow. She will roll in from the beginning and be like, yo, listen. What you need to do is start tweezing your whole face. Okay,
right.
That shit will be laid out from the beginning, son.
Yeah.
But there's
now you may not tolerate her.
You can talk about that in public. You can talk like in public. People will be like, "Look at that unibrow," or like that's something that people bring up quite a lot. And
right,
so
which means she
at
either
some
doesn't give a
point
fuck.
she's got it. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. She clearly doesn't give a fuck.
Which she likes him.
Exactly.
That means she likes him.
Because if you're gonna look face to face at a unibrow while trying to achieve an orgasm,
women do not like unibrows, bro.
But I think women would put up with more stuff than like a guy would. Okay,
a dude would not put up with a woman's unibrow.
I think no. This is what I'm saying. As a guy, you don't get it's not as safe. Because it's like you're questioning their womanhood, and it's
first of all, you wouldn't even get the chance because the woman would get rid of the unibrow, which is the same reason she's gonna tell this ugly motherfucker to get rid of his unibrow.
Here's to my point: is that a woman by that point in life knows she's got a unibrow, and that's like part of who she is. A guy, maybe just no one ever told him.
No,
and this woman is
first of all, his mother told him.
What I'm saying is
his mother told him. No dude, no dude.
Nobody said. I mean, I don't. Again, it's very minor.
You don't have a unibrow.
No,
a little bit.
You don't have a unibrow.
I'm merely saying that
that's an inside insecurity that's coming out right now.
You don't have a unibrow.
Participating in this conversation.
What I'm saying is
this guy. I'm talking about. Just the eyebrow doesn't stop.
Yo, there's no way.
It's a straight highway of eyebrow.
His mother told him.
Probably as a kid.
His mother prepared him that girls were not going to like him because of his unibrow. That's what happened, son. That was that man's life.
No one ever goes to a school that's cool enough and nice enough where people aren't making fun of you.
Yeah.
For something that stands out and looks different.
There's no way.
There's no way.
Even if he was
he
a
didn't
fucking
get shoved
orphan
in a locker and was like, unibrow boy, that happened.
I didn't hear the term unibrow.
That's because you didn't have one.
Hold on. I'm not talking. Fuck you. I'm saying when I was probably like 15 or 16 before I even heard the fucking thing, and then I started noticing them. I'm saying that it's not. It's recently culturally that people have talked about them to such a degree that that it'd be okay for a man to pluck it.
No,
you're just trying to involve yourself in a community that you don't believe in. I mean, that you don't belong in. You're not in the unibrow community.
Yeah.
So
I'm not saying I am. No. I'm not saying. Hold on. I'm not saying I'm part of them. I'm merely saying that in the case of this guy, it's probably there's a portion of his life where he didn't think anything of it, and nobody said anything.
No, that's not true.
Let me finish my sentence, please.
Sorry, sir.
There's got to be a portion of his life, obviously, where it didn't fucking exist. When he's 5 years old, probably didn't have fucking any eyebrows, much less a unibrow. There was probably a portion of his life, who knows, maybe he's a foreigner, and nobody discussed it. But what I'm saying is, it seems odd to me that she wouldn't say to him, like, hey, let me just try this.
Right.
And on account of the fact, if you're saying that every woman would be bothered by that, on account of the fact that she doesn't say that, I would think they haven't been together that long.
Here's the thing. The flip side of that is you mistake the fact that a lot of people who have unibrows as a sort of family thing would be people of color, usually. Yeah, ethnically.
I'm always thinking like Italians and Armenians. When I think of eyebrows.
Like unibrows, Armenians would be people of color.
Yeah.
All right.
So
anyone who's not Anglo.
Right. So those families, you're not going. You have
Love that word.
You have no window of your life that you don't know that a unibrow is your future because someone's going to tell you
or your present.
Okay, someone's going to tell you. Even if it's not your mother, it'll be an aunt, it'll be a fucking cousin, it'll be just that fucking person in the family that just says shit that's not supposed to be said.
Like, oh, you'd be so cute if you didn't have that unibrow.
Or they'll be like, all the men in the family get unibrows, right? They will tell you that. There's no way that you grow up without that knowledge at some point in your brain. It's not a reality that gets entertained. So like, I understand what you're talking about, but in the real deal of things, that's not a fucking thing.
Is your issue the word unibrow? Because I agree with you if you're saying that not everyone would necessarily use that term, but they're going to address the fact that you have a unibrow in whatever cultural something.
Whatever term they have for it, it will be addressed.
I guess what I'm wondering is basically the only, like, people make a lot of, when you talk about Frida Kahlo,
Yeah, right.
unibrow comes up.
Clearly.
Like within a
I talked
sentence.
about Frida Kahlo's unibrow yesterday.
Right. Okay. Perfect example. So that's
Just what I was doing at Chipotle.
That's what
I'm
I
saying
did
is, like,
yesterday.
So that's an
for
extremely
30
rare.
minutes.
That's an extremely rare trait in let's say trait. Extremely rare physical feature for a woman to maintain at all.
Right.
Like I literally the only thing I can think of is Frida Kahlo when I think about women with unibrows.
Right.
That's the name that comes
Clearly,
up.
yeah.
It's not that rare in men.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exceedingly rare like Frida Kahlo, and it's not even rare in. You could walk down the street, you will see a unibrow on
It's
a dude.
rare for. Here's the thing, though. For
Depending on the street.
Here's the thing. Here's a good example though, because it's not like here's a good example because it's not really like it's that hypothetical culturally right now. There's a prominent basketball player, Anthony Davis. He was the #1 draft pick in
the
last
worst
year's
unibrow.
NBA draft. He
Yeah, that
plays for
dude's
the
got
New
shit.
Orleans
He has an
Hornets.
Olympic
Yeah.
medal.
He has, yeah. He was one of the only like young kids that was on the 2012 NBA.
I thought
Olympic
that shit
team.
was photoshopped.
No, that's him. So
No, I
like,
know.
so that's what I'm
But
saying to you is
saying
like
first.
your man clearly is like, I don't want to get rid of my unibrow. Ain't nobody. There's like, I know that dude's family, son. I got the fucking same people in my family, son. All the women in that kid's life told him about that fucking unibrow, and your man just didn't give a fuck because the basketball was enough to compensate for it.
Right.
That's how that game works,
Yeah.
essentially. If he wasn't a fucking NBA level talent, that unibrow would not exist.
That's a really good point because maybe that answers your question about why she doesn't really say anything. I don't know who this dude was. This
Right.
dude could be something, and his level of confidence is so like yeah, I have a unibrow. Like
Sure,
this,
sure.
you
Well,
and
there's
then you
two
get the
ways-
girl who's gonna
there's
be like,
two ways to
I
it,
mean,
yeah.
I just like you who you are.
I
like,
don't want your money.
I don't want you to change. Be you.
But you're gonna get rid of that unibrow one day.
You just be you.
Maybe
Right,
I
that's
can shave it in
all
the
I'm
night.
saying
while
is-
You'll
I'm
wake
sleeping.
up and see me on top of you with some tweezers and be like,
Exactly.
"What's
All I'm
a
saying is it
chloroform
doesn't
right on your face?"
necessarily have. It's not necessarily one or the other. That's the kind of fascinating thing about it. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily that she loves him so much that she sees past the unibrow.
Right.
It could also be that she doesn't care at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because she hasn't really she's like, fuck it. He
She's
can
like, I
look
don't
like an
care.
idiot. You know what I mean?
He
I'll
could,
see,
he could
you
be
know?
the side hoe, and she just doesn't even care at all. Yeah.
Ah.
She's like, but have you seen that dick?
But have you seen that penis? I'm so
the way you
technical.
said it
I am so
sounded like a
technical. I
gay
can't even.
So
I,
good.
I have to say
God,
penis.
I feel like Reyna should just like take and like have a lab coat on right now.
Not to get too personal because we're almost out of time, but now I'm painfully curious. In
Yeah.
bed, do you use the word penis?
No. I'm one of those lady in the street, so yeah.
You won't even
Listen,
finish the
don't be
sentence.
fooled
Don't be
by the
fooled.
glasses and
No.
the lab coat.
right.
Do you understand me? I may have a stethoscope
What's
on
your
right now,
preferred-
but
what's
that's
your-
because I'm on the clock.
What's your preferred nomenclature?
She's not gonna tell you that.
Not even gonna. All right.
Wait, what? I don't even know I don't even know
Sorry,
that word.
Your
What is-
preferred vernacular. Your
Oh,
preferred
okay,
slang.
yeah. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah.
You go
cool.
cock, dick,
no,
schlong,
dick. You
wang.
know what? Okay, I have a story about this.
All
It's
right, please
dick.
do.
It's dick. But I was just recently messing around with an Italian guy, and he uses the word cock, and it makes me extremely uncomfortable.
Really?
Yeah.
We kind of talked about this where white dudes
Yeah,
are
yeah,
very.
yeah.
You like this cock. I'm just like,
Yeah,
can we
yeah.
turn the cock into a
Ooh,
dick,
it's
and then
like
we can maybe
horrifying.
talk about this. But
Oh,
I
yeah,
just,
yeah.
it's uncomfortable, and it's a,
It's like unnecessarily
That's 'cause of
aggressive.
porno.
Does it feel like more aggressive?
It's
for
a
you?
porno thing.
Yeah.
Well, here's
It's
because
definitely a
now,
porno
and
thing.
I'm dealing with a cultural difference because he's not American, so he's trying to do what he sees in American porn to please me. So he's using cock.
Where do you go on female anatomy? What's your word
I
there?
say pussy.
You say pussy. That's what I say.
I hung out with some white girls and they was like really appalled. They was like, "You say
Yeah,
pussy."
yeah.
I was like,
White
"What do you
girls
say?"
really do not like
It
that
was like
word.
vagina. I was
You're
like,
like, yeah, not in bed. No, yeah. No, I mean, I
but they don't like that word. They
I've
don't
found that
pussy.
like they'll either there seems to be this chasm of there's like they'll either say pussy or they'll just point to it or talk about
Like
it.
you just have to
but
like
never
talk around
reference
it.
it.
You
Yeah.
just have to like
Are you
You
gonna
know
go
my
here?
they'll go my
Yeah, right.
and they'll
It's so
and
funny
you're
because
like fucking it's a pussy. Just call it
I
a
was
pussy.
trying to think of what other word to call it. Like when I was like, I mean,
It's like I feel like as a guy, it's kind of limiting in terms of like what you can do in
Yeah.
terms of like having a conversation because you're like, okay, well, like,
pussy, puss,
You've
clam,
just taken
clit,
away half the
snatch,
game,
hole,
essentially.
muff
Do you know
hole,
what I
fuck hole,
mean?
manhole,
and then you feel like you're walking on
wizard
eggshells.
sleeve, axe
Do y'all say
wound, muff,
pussy?
clam. Sorry,
I'll say
Pooch?
pussy. I'll say pussy.
Pooch?
pooch,
How do you
poontang,
say
I like to
Cooter
say
pooter.
punani.
snatch,
You
yams.
say
No, I do not say that.
You're
I
one
just,
of those
no, I'm not.
guys?
No, please don't. Please don't. I was
Foxy
very kidding.
Brown over
I was
here.
very kidding.
Punani.
I kidding. I just wanted to see
Il
how
nana.
to sort of bring around all women everything. I just wanted to see how disgusted the
Yeah,
ladies
yeah,
would be
yeah.
without just affect that. So
Nice.
as a shout out to the gentlemen out there.
Now,
just
I will
make sure
say
you know.
I was really uncomfortable with the word pussy until probably around like 24, and I don't remember what it referred to
used
before before. I think I didn't refer to it. I think I was just kind of like,
that's so awkward.
yeah,
That's so awkward.
Yeah.
I feel like I would like
that.
stop.
You know, like I think again I talked around it. And
You get really good at not using the word.
Words in bed are funky things because you don't know what word will immediately ruin it until you say it.
That's true.
And you know what I mean? And you got to just try. You just got to start throwing words up. No, that one. All right.
I just have sex like a Terminator. You know what I mean? We
I
don't
will
talk.
say, I will
give
say
a little
in,
bit of expression.
In bed, if a woman calls it a penis, it feels a little emasculating. Not as bad as wiener. That's
Whoa.
just
No.
That happened once, and I was like, all right, I'm putting the kibosh on that one right now. That's a really weird one. It wasn't so much let me touch.
That sounds so like virginal. That's just
It
uncomfortable.
was
Feels like I shouldn't even
weird.
touch your boobs if you're saying wiener.
Then again, I also think
Feels
the
like you
word-
shouldn't even have boobs.
right.
Yeah,
I
saying
think
wiener.
I think another word
blow-up
like that,
doll
but
kinda thing.
it's an adult word, but it still makes me feel
it's
gross saying it is panties.
Oh,
It's
I love
I've always,
panties.
That's because you say
I call 'em-
panties.
He likes to say undies.
I'll say
I'm gonna
undies.
say
Which is, I feel like it's very creepy for me.
I like undies too.
Undies is all right.
Panties are girls and undies
No,
are boys.
because y'all emphasizing the
awkward.
pants, like panties. You have on your panties. That's like
It
little
just
girl.
feels,
Gotta
I don't
say,
know,
put your
creepy.
panties on.
Whenever there's like a
Hey.
sexual
Okay,
scandal,
hold on,
the word
Dolomite.
panties
Easy over
get
there.
used.
Easy
Got
there.
your t-shirt on your panties.
Fucking
on.
Superflies in the building over there.
No, I'm saying like if there's a sexual scandal, the word panties and things that happen to or on or around the panties
Yeah.
will happen.
That's true.
But there's not like a sexual scandal where like then he was slamming her pussy. Like that word doesn't.
Well, they wouldn't
Cock
say-
and dick and pussy don't come up. Penis, panties, vagina, these words come up.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's where I won't use. So undies would not come up.
Do people still say vajayjay? Is that still happening?
I don't think anybody ever did. It's just
Chelsea-
something you'd say
Only
like out in the
Oprah and
street.
I think Chelsea
Yeah.
Handler maybe is still using for JJ.
Probably.
Vajayjay?
She's still using
Again,
her
I don't
vajayjay.
know if you would. I don't know. I have a really hard time believing, like in bed, you'd
God
be
is
like,
good.
lick my, lick my vajayjay or whatever. So, all right, maybe we'll just end on that.
That's
then.
perfect.
All right. All right. Oh, I didn't ask you. Cock, dick, penis, wang, schlong.
I do dick and pussy.
All right.
That's
If he
it.
says cock, is it over?
I don't really like.
He
Yeah,
just made the face. You're like, ah.
It's
Cock.
weird.
it's very porn-esque.
It
Maybe
feels-
this is why I never end up hooking up with black chicks.
Yeah.
They hear me
Yeah.
say cock, and
No,
they're like,
no.
ah, no.
you're like,
He's
"Do you
going to
want
say
me-"
that shit in bed.
What we're doing right now, Riffopolis, we building bridges.
You know what? I don't know. I think when I think cock, I automatically think white dick, and it's like
Perfect.
dick just
Good,
is just to me.
Mitch-
That works
very
perfect
dark.
for me then.
Mitch just went like on all kind of an emotional roller coaster right now.
Like,
I don't know,
Out
for some
white
reason when I
penises.
when I when I
It's
say the
like-
word cock, I want to make this fist.
I just wanna
wanna go
point-
cock like it's doing something.
We are in
like
them with
it's
a
an
crescendo
action.
tonight, everybody.
I'm sorry.
unlike Lulu, I'm equal opportunity penis. I don't discriminate about colors and shapes.
I don't see a Crayola box
Well,
when
I
you
don't-
say dick.
Lulu's telling me basically, in essence, while the word dick is more pleasing than the word cock, but cock makes me think of white dick. Ergo, it's probably okay if I continue to refer to my white dick as a cock.
But just not when you're with Lulu. Do you understand?
Of course, fair
If
enough.
you just
In
said
the
white
Bronx.
dick, that'd be perfect.
The box.
Yeah. If you see,
If you
listen.
just say white dick, it's perfect.
It
Don't
is.
say white
Listen,
cock.
white Riffalonians who would
I
like
did
to
say that. I didn't
enjoy
say
some
white
coitus with
So cock
Ebony
implies white
Queen.
dick, so this you can leave the white out is redundant,
You
is
could
what you're
just,
saying.
Yeah, you could just say
I
white
got
dick.
it.
You know, you have
Right.
to
I've
say-
never said white cock about my own until this moment.
That's what he says. Why did you say the exact line?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry.
I thought we were gonna wrap the shit up, son. now
I'm
everyone's got
going to.
PTSD.
I'm
I
saying
do.
We got
that
dick-
is- I'm
we got
with you.
dick
That
trauma
does
going
seem a
on
little
right
bit
now.
strange
That
because
gets
it's like
creepy.
now you're focusing too much on the race effect.
Yeah.
Look like we're
that's-
playing the
You
piano.
like this
that whole thing.
Anglo-Saxon
Yeah.
phallic.
Right. am I supposed to be like Nubian pussy? Like, this
Yeah,
is
right?
weird.
Oh my god, I'm not gonna write anything on the board. I'm not
Does
gonna
he?
write
Does
anything
he
on the
say?
board.
Does he like black
No,
pussy or anything
no.
else like that? Does he refer to the color of
says
you
black
as well?
pussy.
No, he doesn't say that.
Okay, he
No.
just
Duck
refers
of
to
the
his
berry,
own.
sweet
Yeah.
of the juice.
I won't do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to PTSD you, but
yeah, I know.
Too
all
late,
right.
Mitch.
Too
It's
late,
too late.
exactly.
Lulu, what do you want to plug? Where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me at Lulu. That's LOULOU_star. That's my Twitter.
Whoa. There's an underscore star after that?
It's LOULOU_.
And then the
words-
asterisk or
no,
the word star?
The word star.
Oh, okay. All right. I was worried that you were asking people to like hold the shift key for a minute.
F9.
No.
I was like, wait, you want
Escape button.
Alt Shift Option P makes a star emoticon.
Yeah. If
all
you
right?
haven't seen it, go check out Do's and Don'ts of a Side Hoe. You can
On the YouTube.
on the YouTube.
On the YouTube.
Reyna, what do you want to plug?
Yes, the Twitter. You can tweet me at Reyna A Comedy, and that's Reyna, and then another A Comedy. Jeez. And that's my Instagram too. You can.
Do you have a channel on YouTube, the two of you?
Yeah, it's called Sketch Goddesses.
Jeez.
Sketch Goddesses. YouTube.com/Sketch Goddesses.
Yes.
All right, check that out. Do you, either of you perform coming up soon?
We do, yes. Well, I'm getting ready to go out of town. If you're in San Diego, again, follow me on the Twitter so I can tell you where I'm going to be at this weekend. So, yeah.
And yeah, next Tuesday, I will be at the Belly Room
Woohoo. At the
awesome.
Comedy Store.
Crazy Cindy show. Yay!
What you got, Tedrick?
This Saturday, Formosa Cafe, Saturday night, 8 in the p.m. Gonna be hosting out there, and as always, catch new Straight Riffin highlights from past episodes on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Mitch, what you got going on?
I will also be at Formosa on Saturday.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
I'll be damn.
Yes.
I'll be
I was
damn.
gonna say white dick in tow, but then I was like,
No,
Yeah.
Lulu might be there now.
Wow. Caught in my ears.
You got the kind of vernacular I'm looking for.
again, I didn't want to be redundant. It does feel like if I'm leaving the house, too does my cock.
Yeah, no doubt,
Ah,
bro.
you
You ruined it.
You
You
ruined
ruined
it.
it. You ruined it. You had him.
PTSD after all.
You had him. Why, Nixon? Why?
You're trying to undo 20 years of conditioning in
do
one
it.
night.
It's gotta happen.
I was trying. God damn it, yo.
Never met no mother. You ain't never met a
All
little
right.
cake. Good night, bitches.
Thanks for listening to Straight Riffin'. You can catch all past and future episodes of Straight Riffin' on the official website riffin.net, riffin.net. Keep in mind, we do